I got a question for you.
Go for it.
So I'm going to start. I'm going to enter the dark side again on Monday.
Hmm.
I want your thoughts on a starting cycle, bro. I'm trying to get yoked, bro. I'm trying
All
to get.
right. So test moderate dosage, but obviously pump it up over the weeks. Like
All right.
just use as
So
much as you can gain.
let me ask you: is there a difference between the tests you like to use, P, C, E, anything?
I always use E just because it's more. I do daily injections, so it's just
Yeah.
more stable. I mean, longer half lives are always going to be more stable in my mind.
Yeah.
So for you, running low test for now and then bumping it up over the week, so you're gaining because you're going to gain off of like 300 right now, dude. That's
Mm.
all you're going to need at the beginning, and then bump it up. And then once you start getting, or one, I don't know if you know what your estrogenic side effects, like what milligram you start getting to. It
No,
may
I
be
don't know
different now.
specifics, but I am estrogen dominant, bro. I
So
am.
what I would do is add in a primo from there
Mhm.
because you can keep the anabolics going. Because if you add a Remodex, that's not going to do you any good. Like you're just going to cut your estrogen. It's totally pointless. So add
Yeah.
in a primo to bring back down that estrogen, and you're still getting that anabolic from that, the
Mhm.
androgens from that. And then basically you can up your test more, up your primo more, and basically keep those level. Because like I did my blood work, I was on like 800 milligrams of test and I
Yeah.
was using like 300 mgs of primo, I think during my last like my last cut. And dude, my estrogen was at like a 25, 30 whenever I did the
Okay.
blood work.
So,
So
well, you wouldn't use Masteron in replacement of Primo for like the estrogenic effects, or is it bang
you
for
can,
buck
but
less?
primo is going to get rid of it. Like it's going to keep that estrogen down totally. Like it's
Yeah.
not mask kind of keeps it at bay, but it doesn't necessarily get rid of that estrogen in your system. You know what I mean? So like if you drop that mask out, it's gonna bump back up pretty quick. The
Mm.
primo is gonna act like a Remodex, but like I said, it's going to keep your androgens high. So I always tell my clients, dude, I'm like, never use a Remodex if you don't have to. Like, if we're gaining mass,
I
like
agree.
I'm just going to add a anabolic that's going to lower your estrogen and keep us from using an extra drug.
Yeah, that's all dependent on like that person's ability to convert into estrogen, though. But I get what
Exactly.
you're saying for sure. Okay,
And
then
I'm high like you because I got
yeah,
gyno off like I think whenever I got gyno it was like 50 milligrams of Winstrol only cycle, like back whenever I didn't know what I was doing.
bro. When I remember when I first got gyno, I hit you up. Remember, I was like, bro, and
Yeah,
then you sent me right over to that doctor. I got it done right away.
yeah,
Right
dude.
away. I was not playing around. But you wouldn't add anything like NPP or anything along those lines?
I'm not a big fan of like Deck or NBP just from like my personal experience. Like
Yeah.
one, I can't get it up during it. And a lot of people like throw Caber in there. Like they're like, oh, I use Caber and it helps. Like you're just adding another drug that you don't need to. Like I would
Yeah.
rather add in like low dose of EQ or even stack more mast onto it or use an Anavar, like use an Anavar at a lower dose at 30 milligrams, 40 milligrams. Like, dude, I've just never seen good results from NPP. I know a lot of other coaches use it. And there are some people that do get great results. I've just never seen it from my clients and me personally. Like I just feel like there's always a cloud over my head whenever I'm using it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's any nandrolone has that effect
Yeah,
on me. It's
like a 19 or yeah,
yeah, it's just it weighs like you said, it's like you said, the gray cloud. It's just mine isn't as functionable, like mood is kind of unstable.
dude,
I've
Trend will do that. Like I'll be good for like 3 or 4 weeks on Trend, like during a prep, because I usually use it 8 weeks out. I know, I love it. I love it. But the problem is, like after that 4 weeks, I start feeling like the side effects start building. I don't know if it's the drug building up in my system because I
yeah.
don't run it high. I usually run at like 150 or something like that.
You know what because I've ran trim pretty high before. You know what I've realized, bro? I stopped getting side effects. Like outside of like outs like external, like I got like acne, I started losing, but like I never lost sleep like I used to before. I've never gotten decadic. Um, like I just never gotten the I guess the I got the physical effects, not necessarily much else. So I'm curious now that when I get back on, I guarantee you I'm gonna feel everything again. Like
Dude, I
like
bet
I'm
you can
brand
use
new.
100 migs and you'll probably just blow up from it
That's what I'm hoping, bro.
easily.
Yeah, man.
Easily. You're
I'm
going to be
excited.
hyper responding now.
Bro, I was 20 pounds under my cap last time. So like this time around, man, like it's gonna be a year. You know,
I think what you should do this time around is I think you should take like blood work often
yeah,
and keep your like only bump up your doses according to like what your blood work is saying because that's going to keep you healthier. I think before you were throwing a dart at a board and hoping it was sticking
yeah.
without knowing maybe.
The problem when it was last year was I didn't make adjustments based off of blood work. I that was the game plan. And then
Mhm.
when I got the blood work, I was like, oh shit, how do I
Yeah.
mitigate it while still running the high dosage? And I think that's where the issues ran. And I kept justifying it because, I made it to the Olympia in 2022. I placed in, second, third, in 2023. And then 2024, I got back to the Olympia, so I kept like justifying it with placings while I should have took a step back and looked at it as the physique in itself progressing. And it wasn't, I think that was the biggest headache. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You want to hear something scary about my blood work that I got back this week?
But
So I remember I was telling you that I always have like elevated liver values, like all the time. Like it's been that way for the past like 6, 7 years. So I went to a gastro and basically got like a full liver panel done. Like I got an ultrasound before everything came back good, and two things popped up on there. Obviously, hepatitis A was reactive, which I think I got that from food poisoning. And
mhm.
then two, there's a blood marker called smooth AB. And what that means is it's called like smooth AB, something that goes by titers. And I was 1:160. And what that basically means is that is a check mark for you to have an autoimmune disease.
Oh
And
shit. That's what
it was
Chris Thompson has,
elevated.
right?
So I think mine might be, I think his is kidney, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. So I think I have the liver version. So it would be autoimmune hepatitis, which would give me, I looked it up. I know always looking up like Med MD or whatever the hell it is bad, but no, this one's like pretty serious. Like they have to go do a liver biopsy on me. And this one gives you a life expect. Like no, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but it gives you a life expectancy of like 10 to 20 years. Like no joke, swear. And I'm
Bro,
like, well, and the doctor's acting like it's nothing. And I'm like, well, what do I have to do if I have it? And she's like, oh, we just give you some corticosteroids pills and it suppresses a little bit. But then I go home and I look up like
the like
what,
act, yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, dude, she acted like this was nothing. So what I think happened is the hepatitis A, there was like, I had a viral infection from that food poisoning. And I
Uh,
think it's giving me a false positive on that smooth AB, which I'm going to retest here. And if it's still high, then yeah, we got some trouble. But I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit lower. So I'm just praying, dude. I got that news yesterday. I was in the doctor yesterday and I like left and I was like, the whole night, I'm like, my mind's spinning. I'm like, what the heck, man? So this is the importance of checking your blood work because imagine if I went into a contest prep or bulking season, wherever that may be, and I start taking orals and things like that, my liver would never be able to take it if that was the case. You know what I'm saying? Like it would flare it up and dude, I could possibly die. So people out there, do your blood work. Like you will find things that you don't expect.
yeah, bro. What he said, Jesus Christ, man. I hope
Yeah.
everything goes well with that. Did you get a chance to watch USA's this past weekend? See any of the results?
So they didn't have a live stream, so couldn't
I
watch
don't
it. But
understand that, bro.
dude, I heard a lot of bad things about the show, and I don't mean to like crack down on promoters and things like that, but I had a lot of friends that did the show, and they said they didn't get any goodie bags. They didn't have the shirts ready for the athletes. Like I guess the shirts never came in, so they didn't even get like USA shirts. I know the fee for it was pretty dang
Bro,
high
$600
for a coach's
fucking
pass.
coach's pass, bro, for one
It's
day.
wild.
I'm
One
sitting
day.
there like, there's no way. There's no
No.
way.
So I don't know. I mean, that isn't probably the smartest thing to do. And then on top of that, the only way we could watch the show was on NBC News Online whenever they're rolling out the
Yes,
pictures. So that
everybody
was the only way I
roots for
saw it.
that. That's the only way. Was there anybody who stood out to you?
Dude, honestly, I think I posted on my story. You probably saw it. I thought the competition was pretty dang good. I mean, every single call out that I saw was solid. And sometimes, like, you'll look at the NBC News Online and you're like, oh, how did this guy win his pro card? Or this class didn't look too good. But these classes were pretty solid. And there was guys there that placed in first call out at the previous shows, like Junior USA's, Universe, things like that. And they were in second, third call out at the show, which tells you a lot. You know, and
Yeah,
these guys were getting better as the season was going on. So that shows you the competition or what they were looking for at least,
yeah,
you know?
bro. I couldn't agree more. I think there were a lot of guys who stood out to me this time around compared to before, but there was some hitters, man. There was
Yeah.
some there were some clear people who separated themselves. And I'm excited to talk a little bit more about the overall winner here because this physique, bro,
It's good.
it really stood out to me. He just looked polished. He looked prepared. You know what I
And his
mean?
waist was tiny, tiny.
Yeah, hell yeah. Damn. But what do you think about 16 people turning pro? Do you think that that's a little too much, or
Okay.
do you,
So I got in a couple arguments on Instagram about this in the past couple days, and my theory on it, and I go back to whenever I did 2017 nationals, and there's a guy named Carl that won it in my class. I believe I was class F back then, and he got second place pro card. Okay, he was coached by Omar Ventura,
okay?
and he went on to his first season to place. I think his first show he placed third or second, and then he won two shows after that in his first rookie season. He was a second place pro card winner. So, my opinion on that is that the pro card doesn't matter. Okay. How you get the pro card, it is what it is. Like everyone's going to put IFBB pro card in their bio, like whatever. If you're mad about that, kick rocks. Like I don't care. But it's what you do with the pro card after that, right? And Carl went and qualified for the Olympia in the first dang season. And I'm pretty sure there's been multiple guys. I mean, what? Aaron Banks, I think, was a second place pro card winner, right?
Yeah, I think he was actually. Yeah,
Yep. And what? He's Mr. Olympia. So people that are complaining about second place pro cards, it doesn't matter in the long run. It's a lot of these guys are taking off a year or two after that. They're doing shows 2 years down the road and they're winning. They're winning these pro shows. So I make as many pros as you want. It's not going to matter. And then the guy was arguing on top of it to me. He's like, "Oh, well, that's the problem we have here. Is there's so many pro cards. That's why we have 70 plus people on the Olympia stage." And that's not the case of why
yeah,
that happens.
that makes no sense.
It's the amount of shows that there are to qualify for the Olympia. So if you want less Olympians, just have less shows, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's a whole separate problem.
yeah.
A whole separate problem for another day. But I don't know. I do you feel like it at all is watering down the thought and the idea of a pro card?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, back in the day, they do just even in amateur shows, they had tiers of amateur shows to be able to get to a national stage.
Oh,
So
really?
now, yeah, they used to have tiers. Like there was like I forget what they were called, but like you would have to do like a tier 4 or 5 show to even be able to go to like nationals. Like you'd have to win an overall or something. I forget what it was. This was back in early 2010s, I believe it was. So there was like back then it was a lot
Oh,
harder. And then
wow.
obviously there was only bodybuilding, you know? So
Damn.
once we start adding in these divisions, that's whenever more pro cards came about. And now we have more shows which are offering more pro cards. So yeah, it's going to get watered down, but the sport is growing. There used to be 10,000 people that did the sport, and now there's 200,000 people that are doing the sport or for however many. So of course, as the sport's growing, like there's going to be more pros. It's like the NFL starting off with 6 teams or 8 teams, and then now there's 32 or however many, and you're having more pros. It's just how a league is going to grow.
Yeah. What up, Drew?
Hey, what's up?
So I know you're just jumping in here. Quick little update. Chris gave me my PED stack. Chris might die, and then now we're talking a little bit more about the pros or the new pros this past weekend. And I want to
Yeah.
ask you, what are your thoughts about 16 pro cards being handed out at a show?
I mean, here's the thing. People are always going to think that the league's being watered down, but the pro card, I mean, they are giving out more than they used to, at least as far as back in the 90s or early 2000s, because these divisions were created. And I don't think it's oversaturated. And I'll say why. I think that when you have the pro card, you have the opportunity to do any pro show that you want, and you still have to win. They're not giving out pro wins for the Olympia to guys that are taking second or third. There's no point system. So people might think that it's watered down as far as being a professional bodybuilder, but it goes to show how tough it is to win a pro show because you got guys that look great like this past weekend. You still have to win a show. Now, there's a lot of things that you could do with that pro card. For example, it adds to your resume. It could add to like a business title. It could add to, a lot of other things. And there's I wouldn't say few guys that apply it to the pro league, but there are the guys that do apply it and that may come out and be well off as pros in the years to come. But I mean, it's not guaranteed just because you have a pro card. So I think that the status of it, I mean, it's still impressive to be a pro bodybuilder. You look at each and every one of these guys that look incredible. They're the
Yeah.
1% of the 1% of people in fitness. On top of it, you know, they're going to keep getting better and better and better. And they show how locked in they are with this as a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But to take it to the next level, you start back at the bottom in the pro league. So we're going to see how many guys make it. But yeah, there are a lot of pros. But in order to be the 1% of the 1% in the pro league, like I said, you start back at the bottom and you got to win a pro show.
Couldn't agree more. Yo, Kentron, can you hear me?
Yo, yo, yo. How you
What's up,
doing?
brother? How are you?
I'm great.
You
Great.
got
Can't
the little
complain, man.
vlogger set up. This man's on his content.
Ours in the
Yeah, come
background.
on. You gotta be official, man. You
Oh
know
shit, he
it.
said like, subscribe, and comment. I like it, bro. How you feeling, bro?
I feel great, man. I feel
I'm,
great.
I'm excited to have you a part of the podcast today, man. I am extremely impressed with your physique. We're actually just talking about that, but again, man, I want to take a quick second to congratulate you, man. How does it feel, being not only just a new IFBB Pro, but now being crowned the overall winner of USA's, which is a very prestigious national show.
Man, I don't even think it really fully hit me yet, Like I'm still taking it all in. Like it's really unbelievable. Like I kind of really knew that the pro card was in my grasp, but to the overall, I wasn't really sure about that. But to have the overall title, that's amazing, man. Especially at USA's, that's amazing. Like I don't, it's
How
crazy.
how long have you been doing this, man? How long have you been competing?
I've been competing since 2017.
Okay, so is this your first national show? How long have you been running the national?
Second national show. My first national show was actually USA's in 2023,
Okay.
and I came in third callouts, man. I was the last.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so what was your feedback then compared to, I guess, I don't want to say your feedback, but like the improvements that you made here on stage?
Back then I just wasn't ready, Like I was just getting my feet wet, trying to see how the national stage would be. So like I just needed to improve everything. Like I just needed to be more conditioned. I need more size. Like I don't think I peaked right. So everything was kind of just off.
Yeah,
So I took 2 years off to grow, put on some size, and
it was lights out, bro.
it worked.
It was it
It
was it,
worked.
it was lights out. So we were getting ready to actually just jump into the breakdown, starting off with Class A. And with you being backstage with a lot of these guys, I'm sure you didn't get a chance to necessarily maybe see every single one, but I'm also curious to know what you kind of think of some of these guys. But first, Drew, do your thing. This is our Class A winner, and I'm curious to know what you think of him.
He looks really good. I feel like there's definitely muscle groups that need to be brought up as far as making just the complete overall physique. He looks like a guy that, and I don't want anybody ever taking offense to this. I don't know if it's just maybe the lack of training, maybe dieting, but he looks like a guy that could have a potentially natural physique. And the only reason why I say that is because a lot of guys you'll see that have lagging body parts that are natural. His condition can improve, his back needs to improve, his chest needs to improve. It's all there, but it's just a matter of having the right training or the right supplement protocol or the right diet. And it seems like he's missing an aspect of that, if not all the aspects. Like I don't know anything about this guy. He does look great and he got his pro card and I could see why. But in order to be at that next level, and like we just talked about winning a pro level show, he's just going to need to refine a lot of what he has in this physique. Now, his symmetry, is great. The biggest thing that I see just looking at this is his chest is flat and his back is really flat. The muscle bellies and the insertion is there. It's just making it pop more. And that's just going to come with time and just muscle maturity as well. And then just like I said, hitting it correctly and just going into an off season, just kind of filling out it's like a deflated pull raft, filling it out. And that's how I always explain it. It's the same thing with my own physique, with my back. The muscle bellies are there. It was just refilling it up. And I know I'm probably the most hated guy in the men's physique lineup. I don't know why, but for having the worst back, quote unquote. And I recognize that enough to give myself the same feedback that I would give this guy. And that's just refining it, switching up movements and things like that. And it worked for me. So hopefully it works for him as well.
Yeah, I think this guy has great. You can tell he picked the right parents. He has, the round muscle bellies. He won this class based off of the density that he had. And the reality is it's still so untapped. That's the craziest part about it all. So he won based off of what I believe might be, him just approaching, the version of him that's going to allow him to really flourish in bodybuilding. So if he's able to turn pro and win a class off that, he has all the nuts and bolts. He just needs to continue to, build on top of that to
What do
really
you guys see in this look? Like,
shallow.
what's the main thing? Yeah.
I see you
The
more
back's the
so.
biggest.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's the density
It's
in
there. It's
front.
there. You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying? It's there. It's just very it's shallow. And that's
yeah,
just a matter of filling it out.
that's all it is. Like he has everything. He just needs to continue to kind of add a little bit more, to bring a little bit more of a 3D pop. But I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of guys who turned pro in class, A this year, who
Mhm.
I think can do well as a pro. I think again, they're young, but I think he's going to do some damage. All right, champ. Now we got you here, man. This physique stood out to me. There was only two physiques so far this year that really, really stood out to me. All right. We had one on after Universe, and now we have you on. This, bro, this you can tell you train hard. You do everything the right way. You got a good coach on your team. I'm curious to know what your feedback was after the show, if you even got it.
We didn't get any feedback, honestly.
Really.
No. Yeah, we didn't get any
We're about to
feedback.
give it.
Yeah.
So, so let me ask you, what's your thought process in going into like or getting feedback after a show? Like, do you feel like you kind of sometimes already know what you need to improve, or do you just lean more on your coach for that?
Um, I kind of just lean more on my coach, but then there's also things that I know that I need to improve in my physique myself, like
Mhm.
I would say I need to bring my back up a lot. I need more
Mhm.
density, more detail in my back. And then my conditioning could have been a little bit tighter. I would say we're probably at like 95% for this show.
Yeah.
So I could have been a little bit more tight with my conditioning for sure.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think your look overall was the most polished look on
Yeah.
stage. People hear me say it all the time. You need to control your variables. The thing that you can control, I feel like you did such a good job at doing that. Now, what's your plan after winning the overall here, going into another off season or potentially stepping on stage later this year?
Oh no, we're doing Pacific USA's in 10 days.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we're getting straight to it. Yeah.
Let's fucking go. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Smart show
what's the point of
choice.
waiting? Like I just came off an
Mhm.
overall win. I might as well go get it.
Smart man.
Bro, I
That's
love
really
that.
smart because now you'll be able to compare yourself to
Hmm.
your peers now, and then going into an off season, that's
We
going to
know
give you
exactly what
so
we
much
need to do.
more data to work off of to build. So yeah, that's great.
And
Great
it's
idea.
not like doing Tampa either. A lot of guys will get overzealous and you're on that cloud nine as it is, and you're not able to really soak in that win yet. Because, like you said, you're still in that cloud nine. You don't even know what to think. You didn't even expect to, pro card is in the conversation because that's what you work towards, but you don't
Of
expect
course,
the
yeah.
overall. So
Yeah.
now that you have that, you're still soaking it in. You're on that cloud nine. So sometimes guys think like you're unbeatable because you get that. And then you go back into the pro ranks. And a lot of guys might see Tampa on the list and be like, oh, Tampa was my pro debut. You know what I mean? So I still took a year off. I didn't go into it right after, but a lot of guys will do that. So the strategy and what you're picking, and I don't know if it was your choice or your coach's choice, but it's really smart because you're going to line up with these guys, and they're still going to be hitters. There's still guys that aren't qualified, and you're going to be able to see how you stack up.
Yeah.
Most of the guys, the big names, are qualified for the Olympia already,
Yeah.
but the guys that aren't, you're going to actually be able to see and get a shot. Potentially being in a first call. Because when I look at your physique, you have everything that's needed to be in the first call. The most pro ready physique. First, it was Psy, but I think this look would beat his.
Yeah.
Hey, Drew, I have a question for you on his physique. What is the number one thing that stands out the most to you about his physique?
His fullness and his small waist.
Yeah, I was going to say that
It's a
upper chest,
caricature
lower
look,
chest.
but it's balanced. Yeah, you have a
Yep,
boxer glove chest. I always use that
yep.
analogy because it's very full, and then when it almost is like reminds me of Anthony Gilks in a way. You're very,
Mm,
very round and full and bubbly. But at the same time, usually when guys have a lot of density like that, they might have a lot of density in the waist, but you have the aesthetic look. It's not like you're built like a running back. It's like the wide receiver, longer limbs, more aesthetic taper. You just are really, really well put together, and you nailed your poses. And the biggest thing that I noticed immediately was the chest. First thing that your eyes go to is the core. That's why I say that your waist is small, your taper, your X frame, the way that you're hitting it with your legs. But I feel like your fullness, and even in the back, your back is very full. I just like to see more detail because a lot of the times the guys that are bubbly like you might lag a little bit on the side of detail.
Yeah.
Um, but right here, man, you're so well put together. It's a very pleasing look. You're very balanced. You look at both arms down, the symmetry, the hand on hip, the biceps are in sequence with the shoulders, the wide clavicle structure, the chest sits full even when you're fanned out and you're open up. You hit every single pose right here. Great. Now the only thing I don't like is the Superman, just because your lat from the front isn't as prominent. So both arms down, actually, my eye goes to that immediately.
Yeah, bro, I think your physique is very balanced. Maybe
Mhm.
you need to add a little bit more back, but I think overall there isn't necessarily anything missing. You just need more of everything. Like just kind of continuing to, build on the foundation you've already had. Now, I was looking at your profile a little bit earlier, man, just trying to get to know you a little bit more because the one thing I loved about what we try to do here is you're very, pretty unknown in bodybuilding, like in full transparency. So I wanted to bring you on here, not only because you have a crazy physique, but I wanted to ask you the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So, can you go in a little bit more about how many years that you've served, and then also how is the characteristics from the military, translated into you as a bodybuilder?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17, right out of high school.
Shit.
Did 8 years in the infantry, and I mean, it pretty much gave me everything I needed to succeed in life, man. It created who I am today. It really made me who I am. And I think one of the main things that it gave me was just the fact that, life is always going to be tough. Life is always going to be hard. But you can't give up. You can't quit. And pain is temporary. Like it's a corny cliche thing to say, but like pain is literally temporary. So,
Yeah.
it's going to end. You just got to get through it. So whenever I have, any challenges or adversities, like I never stress about it. I never let it get to me. And people always ask me, like, how are you so calm? Or how are you not worried about it? It's just like, we got to get through it. It's going to end. You know, it's
Bro,
going to end.
that mindset in bodybuilding, because you're talking about the Marine Corps right now, but that is the same exact mindset as if you have in bodybuilding that will allow you to be successful long term in bodybuilding. I think it's
Oh,
those people who let those highs get very high and those lows get very low that are all over the place emotionally and then
Yeah.
also placing wise. And I always say bodybuilding is more mental than it is physical. So if you have the mindset like seemingly you have, which is riding the midline,
Yeah,
you
man.
don't
I
need
could I
to.
could be on fire and I'm chilling. I'm
I like
drop,
chilling.
drop,
that.
and roll.
I like that. Also, just being an observer myself, I'm looking in the background here. You play guitar?
Nah, nah, nah. That's somebody else's.
Uh,
No,
I'm
that's
sitting here
somebody
like,
else.
It's a
That's
prop.
somebody else's.
oh man, I'm sure there's a backstory there, but let's jump into it. So, Chris, what do you think of our Class C winner?
Yeah, I think his front is good. I think he could be a little bit more detailed. It looks like he may have missed his peak a tiny bit, but the funny thing is he has abs like me. So sometimes whenever you don't have deep etched out abs, it can appear that way because there's been times where I've been on and my abs don't pop really. So from the camera photos, I can't really tell. I'd have to be there in person to really see. So
Yeah.
just from this angle and this view, that's what I'm seeing. But the back, same exact critique there. One thing I would definitely work on is a little bit more lat thickness there. He
Yeah.
has good erectors. They could obviously be shown a little bit better because you could see compare him to the overall winner. I mean, Kentron, is that how you say your name? Is it Kentron? Is
Yeah,
that,
yeah, but you can call me Ken. I go by Ken
yeah,
for short.
perfect, man. He's got really detailed, thick erectors, and then if you look on this guy right here, they're thick, but they're not popping as much as his were. So you could see a difference there. So I just think a little bit more detail could definitely be on the drier side, but he's got a great physique, man. I mean, that upper shelf there from the chest to the shoulders,
Yeah.
that's money. It almost reminds me of Zach's physique, to be honest, from the
You
front.
know, that's really it's funny you say that. Like the
I
way,
have a better guy that I actually had in mind that I think it resembles him a little bit better.
yeah,
Okay,
who?
go for it.
So the first thing that I want to say first is this physique is an athlete physique. It looks like he played football or is a wrestler or something because I could tell by the legs and the way that his
Hell
stature
yeah.
is and just his neck and everything. I could really tell that he was an
He said
athlete.
his neck.
Yeah. So
He
another
has a
thing
thick neck
is
for sure.
Kyler Crawford was also an athlete.
Yeah.
So he has a very similar look to Kyler, in my opinion, from the thick chest, not as wide in the clavicles, but the way that he manipulates his front pose, it really shows the thickness that he has throughout the chest, the shoulders, and even the thick core, right? So a lot of explosive sports, football, off the ground, wrestling, sports like this. And it'll be interesting when this comes out to see what athlete he was, like
Bro,
a sport of. But
fucking leg, bro.
The
What the
core, bro.
fuck is
Like the
this?
core is where you're
A
explosive, and you
hamstring.
could see that it's a little bit thicker, but at the same time, the way that he angles it and maneuvers it, it really highlights that front post, kind of like Zach, like you said. The back is a little bit on the shallow side, but that's all right. It has everything that it needs to, and that's why he's rewarded as a pro. So the biggest thing that I see with guys that are rewarded for a pro card is they have everything. It's just not enough of some things may show. So they might have a really good chest and shoulders and good taper, but maybe they don't have the best back or the best conditioning. Now you might have a guy that has really good conditioning and really good back, but maybe he has like a weaker front. So it's kind of like there's missing pieces of the puzzle, but all in all, they all have the structure that fits men's physique, and they have the look, whether there's missing pieces from it, if that explains it the best way. But with this physique, it definitely has potential. It's already pro level, but starting back at the bottom, and I always judge these physiques based on how it would do at a pro show. Even if it was a weaker pro show, let's say it was like Tri-Cities or like a Chicago Pro or something like that, I still don't think that it would be a first call out, but with refinements done, it has the potential to be in that mix. And all these guys have a lot of potential, and that's why they're rewarding it. And the show is probably the most competitive that I've seen conditioning wise. And first and foremost, these pictures right here do no justice for any of these guys. You pulled up Kentron's like pictures like from the site, and it's the best way to go about it because it's on an even playing field with all these guys. Yep. But it was not, these pictures do not show how these guys really look from some of the other photos that I've seen online or from a camera or iPhone that's front row. So that's the first thing.
I agree. I think Connor Crawford is a perfect example or representation as already in the pro leagues. If so, imagine this physique matching that dryness, that graininess that Kyler brings. Dangerous, bro. And his fucking
look at the legs, bro.
Bro, his legs.
I never seen a rear. Wait, is that a hamstring or a quad? I can't tell.
Bro, his hamstring is showing from the front. Are you fucking serious? That makes that is crazy, bro.
I will say
the short color is dope.
I like it.
He was on point. Like this picture definitely doesn't know justice. His abs were locked in. Like you can really see the detailing line in his abs.
Yeah.
And he was one of the bigger guys there. He was just dense as hell, man.
Yeah. I could tell from these photos. And this is class C, right?
Class C, yeah.
Yeah, so C is what, I believe, like 5'8" to 5'9.5".
Yeah.
It's between there. But I mean, this is like where Jeremy Buendia would be in. So a lot of those guys that fit, they're not too short to where they're stocky, but they're not too tall to where they're a little bit lanky. It's like a body type. And a lot of the Mr. Olympias and the guys that have been consistently doing well have always came from around that class. So just to put in perspective.
That makes sense. And I think this photo here of him shows really his like strong suit better. I think his physique is likely more comparable, better when it's on stage next to people, because I don't think his shoulder to waist by itself really shows off compared to when he's standing next to people.
But he's flexing that pack too. I don't know if you guys picked that up, but especially next to Kentron, you could see it.
So Kentron, I was going to ask you, is there anybody specifically, in the show or in this lineup who stood out to you while you were backstage?
Definitely the Class C guy.
Yeah.
And then the guy to the other black guy with the dreads.
Right here?
No, to the other side.
Oh, right here.
Red and black shirts, yes. Because I feel like me and him had similar physiques.
Yeah, he's probably he's wide.
I agree. I think he was Class G. And I remember going into the show, I saw some updates and reposts from Muscle Contests on who was doing the show and whatnot. And I saw him and I was like, he's getting his pro card because this is a Tyler Manion like kind of physique. Somebody who's more structure focused with a good back. That in front of Tyler Manion is enough to get a pro card. And that's very similar here, man.
Yeah.
Good structurally. The difference with you, brother, you have more density to your physique than most of the people's up here. And then you also, I know you said you could have been a little better. I still think your peak was better than the majority of people's up here. So that's why I love the fact that you're saying, I did it to get enough, or I got a 95%, but there's still that 5% I know that I can get, bro. It speaks volume. That was the same way when I walked off stage, even after winning a pro show. I was like, I'm not happy.
I have a quick point to make real quick. So as we always ask, like the winners of these shows, who stuck out to you as the athlete, right? It's crazy how a lot of us, it's not that you're underestimating yourself, but we all have a perspective of what is very, very impressive, right? So we might be backstage and you're noticing guys like, that guy's peeled or that guy's massive or that guy's vascular or whatever. And then, you're not giving yourself credit because you've seen yourself every single day,
Yeah,
5 times a day for check-in. So when we ask who's impressive, like one guy that you think, oh, there's no way, like seeing him now on stage next to you, as impressive as he was to you, that stood out, you have everything on him. And sometimes that's the crazy part, because there's a guy that you may not think that you're better than, especially looking at, oh, there's no way he's bigger than me or whatever. That's one thing a lot of people have to remember, your own ammo that you bring to the stage. So you can't get psyched out before doing that. And I was the same way. I know Chris has a similar, experience at Miami Nationals in 2017. We're talking about the same thing, but even now to this day, looking back at it, going on Olympia, yeah, there's going to always be guys bigger than you, but you got to give yourself credit where credit is due. And you're staying in your own lane with, as far as, okay, I was 95%, this was the best look that you brought, and you still won on this day. And I would say fairly easy, to be honest with you. No disrespect to any of these other guys. They look great and they all got their pro card, but you were in a class of your own in the overall. And it was the same way that Sai kind of was at Universe. And you're still looking on ways to improve. And I think the Pacific Coast Pro will give you a better idea of where you're even going to stack up. And because that's the trajectory that you want to be. You want to be on a pro stage. You want to be in front of other guys that are better than you or more experienced, not necessarily better, but more experienced in the sport. And then really be able to dissect your physique next to some of these other guys or top pros that you've always looked up to.
Yeah. What up, Zach? You hear us?
Nope.
You got that Drew technical difficulties.
Oh, here we go.
They can't hear you, bro. But Kentron, so what are your expectations going into Pacific USA's?
Oh man. I'd say I'd be blessed to get first call outs. Like I'd be really excited to be in first call outs. Obviously the goal is to win.
Yeah.
And I feel like I really do have a really nice balanced physique. And and if I could display it properly, I really feel like I can crack the first call out for sure. And if I'm in the first call outs, then I really think I have a chance to win it. So, that's what we're shooting for. That's how I feel.
Do you know anybody doing it that you're excited to compete with?
No, I try not to look and see who's going to be there. I don't want to, I
You
don't do
check
that,
yourself
man.
out?
Yeah,
I-
I will psych
Yeah.
myself out. I have no idea who's going to be there and I don't want to know.
When the list drops, they're going to be tagging you in it. So just know that they're all going to be tagging you in there. And you know what? It's fun, man. Even not psyching yourself out. This is your pro debut.
Yeah.
You have not necessarily an expectation, but you have a goal of being in that first call, like you said. And even if you weren't in that first call out, you're still going to have a lot of data, and the goal is to bring a better look than you did at USA. So it's one thing, and it's very rare for guys to come off of a pro show or a national win and then go into a pro show and win it. But I think you have a really, really good shot, especially setting the standard for, a first call out. I definitely think that it's in the cards for you. You have the look, bro. You have the look. And this USA look there's always a guy that comes out of nowhere that's just turned pro that is kind of giving some of these guys a run in the first call out, because there's a lot of guys that are consistently in the first call out. You could be that guy this year. And I've been waiting to cover a guy like that. We've been doing this podcast for nearly, 17 months or 16 months now. And, we've been waiting for a guy to come in and do that. So, yeah.
I feel it, man. I really feel like I could be that person. And I have a strong will too. Like I won't psych myself out. Like at the end of the day, I'm going into it with the mindset that whoever's there, they got to be worried about me showing up.
Hell yeah.
Doesn't even matter. Like,
Oh, that's fucking.
They
That's
don't
not
know
even
you
trying
yet.
to be
They don't know
cocky,
you
but
yet, but you got to make them know who you are. And that's
course,
why we like to
that's
put a
what we're
lot
trying
of
to
these
do.
guys on here through the podcast and talk about the stories and give you a personality, not only a physique, not only just know Kentron as the bodybuilder that just, swept USA's. We want people to know who you are as a person, because there's not too many guys that they might have a story, but not too many guys talk about it. And
Yeah.
people might not be able to relate to, even though a lot of us are relatable because we push ourselves through the same thing. It's the diet, the suffering, the sacrifice, whatever it may be. We all do the same thing. We all deal with bullshit. It's just our outlook on it. And these videos get people through those preps.
Oh yeah. Zach, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear everybody.
He's back. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's up? What's up?
Oh
I'm
man.
all good, guys. I'm all good.
Yeah.
I like that room.
Hey, bro, it reminds me of your room. I was about to say, is this another Drew getting on here? White hat, similar room setup. It threw me off.
Hey, Alex, you'll like this one. I haven't got it hung up yet, but it's right there.
Oh,
That's
what I'm
sick,
talking
bro.
about. Yeah. Kentron,
What does it come with? It's the autograph?
Yeah. So it's just the autographed jersey and the signed couple pictures at the bottom.
That's sick, bro.
Kentron, you a football fan?
Yeah, so I see a lot of things that I like. I'm from Louisiana, so I see
Yeah.
Joe
Oh,
Burrow, I see
what?
Jefferson.
Joe
Yeah,
Burrow.
Aren't y'all-
LSU.
You guys are both from
Hell
Louisiana.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm from New Orleans.
Oh shit! And Zach, where are you
Damn, I
from?
didn't know that. I'm from Shreveport, up north.
Oh, okay, I got you. So
Lil Wayne country.
Oh well, hey, Kentron, you'll appreciate these then.
what do you got?
These are my pride and joy. So I got the 2020 National Championship Joe Burrow.
Those are sick.
Those are dope.
LSU. Yeah.
I got the it's like the jersey cutout.
That's fire.
Got some
I have
red-
not seen anything like that, dude.
I've
That's sick.
never seen anything like that either. Those are
Yeah,
tight.
Kelly got these for my birthday, so she did a hell of a job there.
Are you ever gonna wear them?
You better not.
You wear them?
I've
better
never
not.
worn them. I've never worn the Kobe's and I've never worn these. And
If you got Joe Burrow to sign it, though, bro, could you imagine?
That'd be
You,
amazing.
you think about it. You run into him somewhere and you don't have him on. It's like, damn, I could have had him sign it.
Yo,
that would be
yo,
bad.
Zach, we should have Kentron in our fantasy football league.
Let's
I
do
haven't
it.
played fantasy football in years.
Nah, you
Years.
got to get back
We
on
got to
it.
start it back
You got to
up.
get back on it with us.
I
bro.
haven't either, and they're kind of convincing me with the group chat and stuff. So
We got to
definitely
be.
play around with
We'll
it.
see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm craving football season, bro.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I see you post that the other day. Yeah.
Starts tomorrow.
I'm
Makes that
waiting.
prep go by a little bit easier.
Yeah,
Not like Alex, I know you're not in prep, but even last year for last year's Olympia, you know, it definitely helps to get your mind off of this stuff.
100%. Kentron, do you do anything specifically in prep that allows you to kind of zone out a little bit?
Nah, no. I don't need anything. I just zone out.
He says no.
Yeah.
Eat my meals.
Yeah, I
do
just
my
lock
cardio.
in. Yeah, yeah.
Bro, he's
It's
used to
nothing to
sleeping
me.
in
It's the military in you, bro.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nothing to me, man. You just
Structure.
hit the switch. Yeah, it's
So
just
where
a
are
switch
you
for
where are
me.
you living now?
I live in San Diego.
Okay.
Beautiful city, bro. Oh, that's perfect, bro. Your pro debut just after winning an overall on the West Coast, and now you're doing it in your hometown.
Yeah, yeah. The story is writing itself. That's why I feel like it's meant to be. I
Bro,
can crack the top 5 for sure.
So I did Pacific USA's 2 years ago, and that
One of the most hype shows I ever seen on a live that you
Bro.
hyped up the crowd, you and Jonas, bro. I've never seen a show like that in the United
Oh,
States.
okay. That was a big show. I remember that. I was there.
that
It was
you were
wild.
there.
Yeah,
You were
I
there?
was there.
All right, let me ask you. Do you remember? Do you think I should have won? and
That was such a close show,
If,
man. I
if I'm
couldn't
being
even answer that
honest,
question.
no bias, I do think you should have won, honestly.
I appreciate that. No,
Honestly, but it's San Diego. Jonas gets a lot of hype and a lot of love in San Diego.
Bro,
I don't think you could beat Jonas in San Diego.
it's hard, bro.
I don't think you could do it.
Home court advantage was there. Like I'm telling you, bro.
The real thing.
Yeah, because like they called both of us out for a top 2 battle, and that was sick. It was just us 2 on stage.
Yeah.
And then when they called him, you kind of heard the crowd. He
Yeah,
had
it
the clients
was-
there.
Yeah.
Everybody lifted up. It felt like, and I don't know how else to explain this. It felt like I took the energy from the crowd when they were cheering for him, and almost convinced myself that they were cheering for me. And but also, I felt like the villain at the same time. It was like hard to explain, but that
Yeah.
looked fire under me, bro. I'm telling you, if you ever guys have an opportunity to like be in a situation like that, explore every single emotion that's on that stage. Like,
Yeah.
just let it fucking go. Because the way that we did that, it got the crowd involved. You can tell the judges were excited. It was cool. It was cool. But I'm excited for you, bro, because that's not
Thank
only
you.
a well-ran show. You're going to get a good experience for your first debut. From my understanding, you might be getting in front of Sandy because she judged that show the year I did. And if that's the case, Sandy's going to love your physique. I mean, she just judged you, a couple
I was
of
gonna
weeks
say.
ago.
Sandy, I love your structure, bro. You have like a structure. There's a men's physique structure. We always talk about the look. And I think me, Alex, and Chris are all on the same page with the aesthetic look. And aesthetics, I guess, is very subjective because somebody could still have like Ali, for example, to me isn't aesthetically pleasing as far as somebody that like Banks, for example, right? So I think about the naturally smaller waist. You could still pose straight on because your waist is so small.
Yeah.
Ali couldn't pose straight on because his waist is bigger, but he manipulates it to make himself look more aesthetic.
Yeah.
So those are just people that I'm using for an example. But you have a very caricature-like physique, bro. You're not a Corey Morris, but you're also not
Yeah.
a traditional aesthetic guy. You have like your own look, and it's appealing, and it's also different in a good way.
I couldn't
You
agree
see what
more.
I mean, Alex? Like he's not quite Corey Morris because Corey Morris does have a small waist. One thing that I would like to see in your physique is the lats from the front. Like, could you just imagine right now your lats
They're
from the front? Let's just
dropped.
say a half an inch. If you just had them pop a little bit more, how much nastier your front shot will look. It looks nasty as it is, but I'm always brainstorming. Even there's no such thing as a perfect physique. Even Ryan Terry, you could still look and critique things. So when I look at your physique, I'm always thinking like, what could make this better? And just
Yeah.
those lats inserted just a little bit,
Honestly,
just
I think
popping,
I
it would be
just need
crazy.
to turn more. I like being at that angle because I
Yeah.
really think it helps display my obliques. But I think I
Yeah.
just need to turn more in the Superman pose so you can see that lat pop.
You could be straight on though. The reason why, a lot of people don't, they angle it because they can't, because their obliques are so developed that it may look like it's making your waist look a little bit wider.
Yeah, my
But
coach
you're a
didn't
guy
like
that
it.
can be straight on.
Yep. Bro, my feedback from Tyler Manion after the 22 Olympia was to stop angling, literally just face frontwards. And he only told me he only says that to the people or to a certain select people. You know what I mean? Like the people who can actually pull that off, and you're absolutely one of those people who can pull it off. Your shoulder to waist ratio is crazy by itself, and that's why I think you're going to do fucking damage, in your pro
Go
debut.
through some other
Uh,
photos while you're talking about it, Alex.
that's my favorite pose. I love that pose. I'm always arguing with coach like I want to hit double hands. Like
Yeah.
I love it, man, because I grew up, watching Andre and I love Andre. So I
Mhm.
always want to hit that pose and be like Andre.
I was
But
This here is
I
dope.
was just about to ask you, who's one physique that you've looked up to as you grew through the ranks since what you started in 2017?
Hang
definitely
on.
Definitely Andre Ferguson. Definitely.
Whose physique do y'all think he's comparable to that has been
I
in pro show wins in previous years? Because this screams somebody.
wait. I think I know what you're gonna say, but I've been sitting here this whole time trying to draw a comparison between him and somebody, and the only person I can think
Marshall.
Witherspoon.
that's a
Who?
that's a good one, but not Witherspoon for me.
Antoine Witherspoon.
Exactly.
That's a
That's what you're thinking.
Yep.
that's a good one.
I could
I had to.
articulate it just by looking and kind of putting my head in yours, but the fact that we're even comparing you to top Olympians, bro, is like, you get what I'm saying? Like you're on path. Like there's similarities, but it's very, very um it's very subtle, but you still have your own look, you know.
Is
Who's
this the first time I've seen his page? I haven't really looked at
Same
the
here.
USA stuff.
Same here. I saw the show, but I didn't
Immediately, I
see some of
thought
this.
Antoine.
Yeah, no, I
I
agree. I
thought
think
Spoon.
I can see that Antoine comparison. Who's the guy again this year just qualified for the Olympia for the first time? Bubbly guy who competed, I think, mile high.
Skinny Macho.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it a little bit. I think Skinny's a little bit more bubbly.
The
Skinny Macho, yeah,
longer the
he's
longer
bubbly.
torso, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the longer torso. I think again, Skinny Macho, ironically, is just like he's just bubbly. Like, but I think, bro, I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited for you.
What's your stage weight?
I think this time we were around maybe like 165. For my last show, I was at 163.
165?
I was like, okay, 180 something. I'm
What?
like,
Yeah, I'm
I
nowhere
was
near the
thinking
weight cap,
172.
man.
Wait. What's your weight? What's your pro weight cap?
I
It's
don't know, gotta be
low.
like
I think it's like
185.
182.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so 10 pounds under or no,
No,
7 pounds. Yeah, it'd be well, like 185. Yeah, right.
that is crazy,
He's got
bro.
like 18 pounds, dude. He can go.
18. That's
Oh,
the
that's
thing.
gonna look sick.
That's the thing. He doesn't need to put 18 pounds up. If he puts on 18,
No.
he's gonna be.
No, the
I mean, if you
illusion.
put
Don't
them on
chase
his
the weight
lats,
cap.
that would
Yeah.
Yeah, I
look
know.
pretty.
I don't want to lose my shape, man. I have really good shape. I don't
Exactly.
want to lose that. I don't
Yeah.
want to lose it.
You
Exactly.
don't need like it's once you get one thing to grow, some things grow just faster than other things. For example, my shoulders take off and then my chest grows, but not as fast as my shoulders. So if my shoulders come up, my chest has to come up. If that comes up, then my arms need to come up to match it.
Yeah.
And then if that's that dominant, then I'm going to have my lats come up and also from the front to the back, just have it overall dense. So you want to make sure because then it's just more time that you got to put in everything. And,
I agree.
you're going to lose those proportions. So yeah, just grow as a whole slowly and gradually.
So I know we kind of talked a lot while on this topic, but I do want to quickly show some love to the rest of these guys. Now, this was the Class D winner. I know it's hard to tell just from the photos, but again, the live stream, unfortunately wasn't available. So, Chris, looking at his physique, what do you think stands out? And I know we don't have the back shot here, but I'll work on that.
his upper shelf, man. And that was the thing that stood out with a lot of these guys at this show, was that upper shelf was very full, very dense, and it goes into a very tight midsection. And dude, that is the number one thing I saw from all the NPC News online posts, and what I was telling you guys a couple days before, as I was just like, I was very impressed with just the whole density and the conditioning of these guys as a whole. It was across the board. Everyone was impressive. So on that guy specifically, though, that upper shelf was very, very full and very conditioned.
I look at this physique and I don't see a full chest. I think if anything, he does need to continue to grow just across here as a whole. I'm not talking shoulders, arms, chest. But the thing that, like I said, Tyler Mannion, there's a look that if you have in front of Tyler, that gets rewarded. And he likes the small waist. That's what he is. He likes condition, small waist, good structure, right?
Now, that's the illusion there. That's the illusion. So his upper half looks so big there because that waist is so tiny.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this guy won based off of what he has structurally and more of a shoulder to waist ratio and the conditioning that he brings to the show.
Yep. Yeah.
But again, and this is no disrespect for him. I'm having this conversation as if I'm talking to somebody, and giving them advice. If he was doing a pro debut, or if I was his coach and he said he wanted to do a pro debut, I personally wouldn't. That's one of those situations where don't be in a rush to get your ass kicked.
Yep.
Like it's different when you want to stand next to these guys and get true feedback, but then it's different when you're now in like a fourth call out, getting compared to guys who that's not where you want to aim for. You know what I mean? So all I know is this dude, again, won based off of things that he could control. So shout out to him for that. But I'm excited to see what he can do in the future. But I do want to talk about this guy here. Again, we talked about him. Kentron talked about him a little bit. This physique man, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because he is very similar to Kentron, where he has everything. He just needs to continue to add everything. And once he does that, it's going to be over, man. He has a good shoulder to waist ratio, Zach, but I'm curious to see or know what you think about his physique.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I feel like they're kind of similar. They have very similar structure.
I agree.
Between him and Kentron.
Yeah. I think
I saw him backstage. I thought I was looking at myself.
I was about to say, y'all look very similar.
Yeah. If you guys go on NBC News online and see Class E where he came from, it is a very, very stacked class. So he beat a lot of good guys. That class was very impressive.
Bro, I had a client in Class G. When I looked at the people who walked out, I'm like, you got me. Bro, everybody in that top 5, I looked at them like they could be pro this year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that was one of those classes. To me, usually I think G is hit or miss, with the talent. But to me, that was one of the most talented classes there. Now, again, looking at his physique, I think the structure is the first thing that stands out to me. I think the most important thing, but as wide as he is from left to right, is filling out this chest a little bit more. But I think, again, his posing looks solid. Needs to drop this lat a little bit more, add some density to the back. But this is that physique that I'm telling you right now, him and Kentron, these are the two that really stood out to me the most.
100%.
You know what I mean? These are the guys who I can see transitioning into the IFBB Pro leagues and doing, some damage within the first year or so, But,
is that a blood sugar monitor on his abs there?
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys that.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yep.
See, and do you think in a situation on stage, Drew, like this could hold somebody back?
I think if it's splitting hairs, like if it was like two of the, peaked physiques and they look identical and it came down to it, then yeah, I think it could. But then ultimately it would be in the, perspective of the judge and what they would like or what they would want. For me, it wouldn't, because I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
Even in these photos, I didn't even pay. I'm looking at, and that shows how good the physique is. Because if I'm looking at it and looking for flaws, because that's what I do when I look at a physique, I'm looking for flaws. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Seeing them in person, you would miss it. You wouldn't even notice that.
Yeah, you're too busy looking at the physique itself because it's impressive. It doesn't hinder it that much. You're not looking for something like that, and that's sticking out. Now that I see it, I recognize it. But yeah, he's taking your mind off of it with the physique that he has.
All right, and this guy probably the most conditioned guy in the entire show. He was fucking peeled, bro. Peeled. Now, looking at his physique, I think nailed the conditioning 100%, maybe a little too much. I think he's almost a little flatter across the chest. The one thing, and this is the same thing when we were talking with Kentron, where he can face frontwards a little bit more to show a little bit more lat.
Mhm.
That's the same thing. I think he needs more lat in general. You can see in his back shot, they're a little higher. But if this guy, imagine he gets dense lats, a fuller chest with this conditioning in a pro league. I'm telling you, already this conditioning is rivaling a lot of pros right now. So I'm excited to see what he does. Chris, what would you say one thing that he needs to work on going into this offseason?
Come in a little bit fuller for the next show. Obviously, add some density. Pretty much to the whole physique. I mean, if that conditioning is there and you add that density, it's going to be a whole nother ball game. Because guys that are usually this peeled, they don't have that same pop that some of the more dense guys do. But if you could bring both of those things together, he's going to look really good.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and last but certainly not least, we have the Class H guy all the way over here, looking big as shit. He did classic physique also. So
Yeah, that's big physique. That's a
yeah,
big
so
guy.
Class H, this guy, you can tell. I mean, look how tall he is compared to everybody else. He's probably sitting at 6'3", 6'4". You know, with a frame like that, it's hard to fill out. It's hard, man. So I think a little bit more density through the chest. I think he has great balance from top to bottom with him even being in classic. But again, more detail. But again, it's overall one of the most solid lineups of the year when it comes to nationals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Kentron, I'm gonna ask you this, brother, before, and you're more than happy to stay on, chat a little bit, but I know I only asked you for 20, 30 minutes. I'm curious, man, and this is something I want to start doing, especially for having, newer people on here. You're young, you're making a name for yourself, winning a national show, you beat pros, right? I understand that, right? So you are already beating pros, and now you're getting ready to, again, step onto the big stage. What is something, and I don't want to be corny when I say this, what do you want your legacy to be as you're growing through the ranks?
Ooh, man, I just kind of want to be respected in whatever field I'm doing, Um, I got big dreams. I got big aspirations. Of course, I want to make it to the Olympia stage one day. I'm not one of those guys who just wants to turn pro and that be it. I want to go all the way to the top. So, I'm gonna try to do all the things that haven't been done, you
Right.
know. What haven't somebody accomplished yet? I want to run the gauntlet. What is it? New York, Pittsburgh, Arnold, and then the O. Like I want to do that. That's what I'm gonna try to do.
So you're not scared of the big shows early. I know a lot of guys, a lot of
No,
times,
not at
they
all.
want to,
No, not at
get where
all.
they fit.
Because I feel like like you guys said, like I feel like I really have to look for it. I have a good base and a good structure for it. I'm only 30 years old, so I have a lot, and I got a lot of weight. I got a lot of weight that I could, throw around and improve with. So I'm ready to run it.
Like it,
I'm
bro.
ready to run it.
I think the cool thing about men's physique, man, right now, this day and age, it's so wide open. It is so wide open, bro. You have people who are turning pro and, winning their pro debuts. You have veterans who, are, 49 years old winning pro shows. And then you have guys who are fucking, 20 years old out here, beating the old guys. It's all over the place, but it's also, completely up in the air. So what you're saying, brother, jumping into USA's, jumping into that top five, and like you said, once you're in that first call out top five, and it's anybody's show, right? It's anybody's show. So I don't think your dreams are as big as some people might seem, who are listening, because it's been done. It's been proven. You know what I
It
mean?
has. It
Your
has.
physique, seemingly your mindset, your work ethic, and I'll do say I like your coach too, by the way. DJ's a
Oh, he's amazing,
DJ's
man.
the
He's
guy,
amazing,
man.
man.
yeah.
Like he he never doubts me. He messages me. He's like, "Hey, get ready for the overall speech."
Hell
And
yeah.
that just fills me with confidence. I'm like, he thinks I'm gonna get the overall speech. I don't have nothing to worry about.
I
I
just
have
got
nothing to worry
chills,
about.
bro.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just got
good.
That's dope. He texted that to you right after free judging.
No, before. So before we even got the USAs, he's like, "You're gonna win your class. We just got to get ready for the overall speech, and that's it." And even before USAs, we're like, we're gonna be in, we're gonna do Pacific USAs too. So
Damn, bro.
Like we already called it. Like we already knew we were going to be at Pacific USA. So
Hey, he's manifesting it right there.
yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, 100%. You got
You
to.
were ready.
Got to.
Yeah, I got some shorts for you now after that one. Brother, listen, I appreciate you, man. It's characters
Thank you.
like you who we want to have on to highlight, man, because you got the right mindset, you definitely got the right work ethic, and you got one hell of a fucking physique, man. So again, good luck for this rest of the season. I'm excited to cover you. And again, Pacific USA is that show's gonna be close to my heart, man. So I'm excited to actually have another reason to tune in this year.
Thank you. I
Of course,
appreciate
brother.
it.
All right,
Hey,
Zach.
Kentron, before you go, are you still? We still got him?
I'm still
Yeah.
here. I'm still here. Yeah.
Are you? So you're from Baton Rouge? No, you're from New Orleans.
Yeah.
Spoons from Baton Rouge. Are you sure y'all aren't family?
Who's that?
Oh, that's Witherspoon?
Yeah.
Wow, that was
Nah.
Crazy.
that
That's
is crazy.
crazy.
Yo, that is his twin. Bro, you
Wow.
Scream Spoon.
What?
That's all
Bro.
I could think about when I saw his photos.
and
That's what I thought too.
Antoine's physique too, bro. Next level.
Oh, it's nasty.
Bro, when he did what was it, Boston? Like when he stood next to Aaron and oh that was an awesome lineup, bro.
Yeah.
That was an awesome lineup. But yeah, no, I agree. I think those very similar trajectory as Weatherspoon too. But all right, brother, I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about Vancouver. All right. Your story in itself is a crazy one. So actually, you know what? Before we get to the footage, before we get to anything else, man, one, how are you feeling after the show? And two, how is the chest healing up?
Man, immediately after, in between prejudging and finals, I was pretty disappointed. I just, leading into it, I felt like, I had a lot of hype around me, and I felt like I kind of just let people down, and that was kind of disappointing. But after looking at things, I see it now. I see where I was lacking, and I see where I could have been better, and I think I made a pretty solid posing error and just leaning back too much in my back shot, because after speaking to the judges, and I showed them my check-in photos like hours before stage and even backstage, that I was sending 2 cuts, and they were like, yeah, that didn't translate to stage. So I really think that I was just leaning far too back in my back shot. I think the nerves got me, and I hadn't been out there in a long time. Like that shot right there, I don't even normally do that shot. It's usually the other arm above my head, and I'm crunching down that way, and I just totally just dropped the ball. But hey, I love it.
It worked.
It worked, but
Now everybody's going to be doing it now.
wait,
Set the standard, bro.
I think that kind of goes into kind of everything that took place on the stage. How long have you been off stage? Let's give people actual context here.
Just over 2 years.
Are you comfortable sharing part of the reason why you decided to take a step away?
No, yeah, that's fine.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so immediately after the 2022 season, I went into an improvement phase, and then actually put on some good size. I felt like we were doing pretty well. And then my wife and I decided that we wanted to have a child. So, being on PEDs and taking testosterone and all, that shuts you down, at least most people. Well, come to find out, I was completely shut down. So I had to take the time off, and I had to get off everything and reset everything. And going back and forth, it took some time to get it done, much longer than expected, because I don't believe that I was doing it correct, at least getting a solid source of stuff to actually do it with the HCG, Clomid, and all that good stuff. After going to a doctor and actually having it prescribed, and actually I took a lot higher dosage than what I thought I was going to have to take of HCG. And after 3 months of being on his protocol, I was back from 0 to 16 million sperm.
Oh shit!
And then another 3 months went by, and I was up to 40 plus million. So once that was settled, I mean, that took 6 months right there. 6 months farting around with questionable gear, whatever you want to call it. It took at least a year for me to get to where I want to be, and then we still weren't getting pregnant. So even time and ovulation and all that, something still wasn't right. And I don't want to get into all her stuff, but
Yeah.
she had to have a little procedure done, long story short. So she had her own little issue. And then, after that, we still weren't able to do what we needed to do to have it done because of one of her ovaries or one of her tubes wasn't functioning correctly. And turns out the eggs grew on that side that weren't functioning. The tube that wasn't functioning, the eggs grew faster. So for the sperm to go, it would always go to the wrong side.
Okay, I get
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Listening to this, brother, it's sensitive to me. Obviously, I mean, you and I have talked. Yeah, obviously, I've went through my own and have come out on the other side, and seeing the people going through it, and now having gone through it myself, and kind of understanding the emotions of what it is to be in that moment, and now understanding how long you've been in it, bro. That's mentally grueling. And
dude, it was the most
bro,
trying times of our lives for sure.
Yeah.
It was very tough.
So,
but we're going through IVF now, so we have the light at the end of the tunnel. We have 4 very, very good embryos currently. So, we're expecting at least 1 child out of that, and she's actually getting ready to do another egg retrieval for the future. So, also, I think it's very beneficial for guys, that do what we do to know this. Whenever I had my sperm count come up super high to where I needed it to be, I actually went ahead and froze all the sperm needed while it was good.
Bro, you said yours got as high as what?
40 plus million. I can't remember if it's 42, 43, something like that.
I'm telling you right now, bro, God's got you. And I know that's, bro, do you know what mine were? 1.5 million.
Yeah.
1.5, bro, all it takes is one. A little swimmer that could, bro. I'm telling you, a little swimmer that could. And oh fuck. All right. So
yeah, it was just a lot of back and forth, man. The whole thing was just like, okay, we're gonna do it this month. It's gonna get done. It's gonna get done. Well, just kept being pushed back. I was just lost, man. I had no drive, everything was just gone to crap, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very tough. But yeah, so that was what was going on over that time period off.
And then from that situation, what kind of brought you to wanting to pull the trigger, starting a prep, and making the transformation that you did?
So once I got my sperm count back to where I needed it to be, after speaking to my wife and getting the okay from the doctor and knowing the direction we're going to have to go regardless is likely IVF. We actually did IUI. I don't know if a lot of people know about IUI. So we did IUI, three rounds of that. And actually the third time she got pregnant, but it ended up being a chemical pregnancy. She had surprised me with everything. She had, it was just like another letdown, man. It was just another disappointment. And then after that, we were like, okay, we're done. Like, we just got to do IVF and be done with this. But yeah, so when I got my sperm count up, froze all the sperm that I needed, that's whenever we decided that I was good to go back and start competing again.
Okay.
And thank God I could, because I was just going through the motions of life. I was not myself at all.
Yeah. So what did that then look like? You texted cuts, what was the next moves from there?
Oh yeah. I mean, he was a part of everything, actually, whenever it's, I can talk about it. It's whenever we thought we were pregnant, we were actually headed to one of my best friend's weddings in New Orleans that morning, early. And I didn't think about it. It was probably 6, 7 o'clock in the morning here. Well, where Cuts was, I think it was the show in Utah. What show is that? Sasquatch or?
That's Washington.
No,
Wasatch Warrior.
Wasatch Warrior, yeah. He was out there, and I didn't think about the time difference. And I had called him at like 4 a.m. Ready to tell him the good news. But yeah, so as soon as we got the okay from the doctor, I mean, that's whenever everything started back up, and I got back in a training plan, and just got the ball rolling immediately.
Yeah. Then this transformation, what was your weight here compared to here?
Ooh, it's crazy to say, man. I was probably the same weight.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
If I had to go back and look, if I had to guess,
The same?
I would think I was about the same. I'd have to go back and double check that.
So is this you completely natural off gear, probably off a training plan, off me, like just kind of just being a human being?
Yeah, I mean that's me at my absolute lowest. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I've been off everything for well over well over a year. I mean,
yeah, bro, I came off for 8 months, and it's bro, bodybuilding is fucked up. We are so fucked up as bodybuilders, bro. Like I don't know, man. When I came off gear, I felt like for a second I almost lost my a purpose.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean,
it sounds bad, bro, but like
it's not even that, man. It's just going through the process of fertility, and you just not yourself, man. Nothing, everything's off
bro,
mentally, everything.
everything. And I don't know, man. It's weird now because now me being able to start back up soon, it's almost like now I'm like, I'm not gonna say nervous too, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I've been in this health mindset for so long that I don't know. I feel like I'm not in a rush to get back yet. I don't know. It's weird, but that's a conversation for another day. Now, on stage, going into the show, you were confident as could be. You can clearly see that. You could feel that aura, right? Your emotions on stage. Now, we were watching the live stream, right? And you can kind of see people's personalities on stage. You could see the emotions of that person, whether it's good or bad. I want to know what was going through your head when you got moved further to the outside and kind of where your mindset was from that.
So is this the call out? Yeah. So this is the call out. So, being right over 5'9", and that, I was trying to decide like what spot to go to because I don't want to be next to the 6'6" guy or wherever he is.
Wait, so you think about that stuff as you're like walking out, like and looking at these people?
Is this final? This is finals, right? Yeah, this is the final call out.
Oh, okay.
So at prejudging, that's what I was thinking because there was a couple of super tall guys, and I don't want to be stuck in the middle of two towers. But yeah, no, I looked at that for sure, but then I was just like, you know what? It doesn't matter. It didn't screw it. Let's just go wherever. But yeah. So I mean, when I got moved out, I was just like, damn, here we go again, type thing.
Yeah.
And then I was disappointed. I'm sure you saw it on my face, especially when they called the top four out.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, screw it. Like whatever.
Kentron.
And I was just trying to hold it. I mean, I was just trying to hold it. Like I said, I hadn't been on stage in so long and posing that long. Stage conditioning was not there.
Well, let me ask you this. Was there anybody who you seen backstage that really impressed you?
As far as, okay, so the guy next to me, I'm terrible with names, but the guy,
Yeah, a second.
I could tell that he was better than the previous show that I'd seen him at. I think it was Toronto, right, Drew?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could tell he was sharp. He was probably the one that stood out to me most.
Mm-hmm.
But then I
didn't know it was the same guy as Toronto because he looked he actually had a really good tan at the show.
Yeah, I thought he was the best piece overall.
Yeah. No, he definitely nailed his peak compared to what he had.
I had him winning, to be honest with you.
Well, I did too.
Yeah, I think he looked really good. Kentron, do you know who won the show?
No.
Okay, good.
No. I was so deep in my prep, I didn't know what was going on.
No, that's good. I'm curious who out of everybody, so not everybody's in the exact spots, But out of all of these physiques, who do you think wins based off of what you see here?
Just do the front shot.
I'd probably say the guy was that a ponytail? The
Yeah.
guy with yeah.
Yep.
I'd probably say him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what most people had, but he actually placed second. This dude over here ended up winning the show. I think they both have crazy physiques, and I think this guy's just from Greece. Like, when he walked out, you can clearly see like there was some density on him that nobody else had. And the live stream didn't show conditioning at least as good, so it was harder to tell. But yeah, I think it was a clear battle between the top two. Now, Buwan, Zach, you've got an opportunity to see Buwan backstage. Do you think that he was improved from his previous show? And if so, what do you think he needs to continue to do? Because from my understanding, he's still planning to run the gauntlet.
I definitely think he was improved from the last show, without a doubt. Obviously, all we had to go off was the live stream and decent videos, but I definitely think he was improved. I still think he needs to be sharper.
Yeah, it's this thing. He looked fuller and he looked tighter.
Yes.
And I think that's sometimes hard to do, especially when you need to push down for conditioning in like a 6-day time span. And have you talked to him about what he's planning to do moving forward? Is he planning to run the gauntlet still, or is he planning to shut it down?
Man, I think he's doing Texas.
Oh,
Or he was up in the air. It was either going to be Texas or the one out in San Diego. Forgot the name of it.
oh shit! All right, Kentron.
Hey.
Now we know. That would be.
He made a post saying he's 6 days out. I think 5 days out or something like that. So it's going to be one of those, I believe.
Well, it's not that show then. But
Tampa.
Wait,
maybe it's Tampa.
It might be Tampa.
Kelly.
I think he would strategize a little bit better because Tampa's a big show, dude.
Yeah,
There's some hitters there.
yeah. Now, Zach, what's next for you?
Next for me, actually found out today. I told you guys I went to the doctor the week before or the week of Vancouver, and the doctor was just like about my. So I tore my pec. I don't know if we discussed that.
Did we just skip over that whole topic?
I think we might have.
Bro can't catch a break, man. Like it's been a last crazy couple months for you. So yeah. So guys, for those of you who don't know, Zach literally tore his pec 2 weeks prior to the show. Yeah. Going into the show, and honestly, brother, I was planning to cover you on one of the episodes that I do on my channel, and then I saw that you tore the pec as I'm like literally recording the video. I'm like, oh fuck. And then I come to find out you're doing the show. So my mind went through a crazy whirlwind. So what went into tearing your pec and then, within the next couple of days still deciding to run it?
That's funny you say that because I was actually on the phone with Drew that day. We talked for probably, 30 minutes, and I'd actually started your video, and then Drew called. So I muted it, but it was still rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was just rolling and rolling. I was just casually sitting on the couch talking on the phone, and then I see my video pop up. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, and then that at that point, I thought I was out. So I thought I was done, and I was just even more disappointed because you just started covering me, and I was just like, oh, whatever, man, this sucks. But yeah, so that happened 16 days before the show.
16 days. Is the video?
16 days.
Oh, don't do this.
Oh.
This is
I hate this. I hate it.
Over and over in my head. I'll be like in bed and I'll just think about this and I'll just
bro,
did yours make a sound?
This is heavy. I don't want to play this out. Is there sound? I don't want
No, I said, did his make a sound? Like, did you hear it in your head whenever it happened?
I just felt it. I didn't hear like a big pop or anything.
Mine felt like bungee cords popping on me. Like it was a weird pop. Like,
okay.
Yep.
Kentron, have you ever got a major injury?
I broke my ankle. Yeah.
Did you play sports?
No. This was in the Marine Corps.
Oh, Marine Corps. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, Zach, you went from tearing this 16 days out. What kind of transpired from, oh shit, I'm not doing the show versus, oh wait, I'm actually doing this shit?
So, so when it happened, immediately I went to the emergency room, and I walked in. Kelly was already there waiting on me. My sister-in-law actually came by the gym. She's a head nurse at one of the hospitals. She came and scooped me up. Kelly met us there. And I walked in. I just looked at Kelly, and I immediately I was just like started bawling my eyes out after it happened, not because of the pain, but just because of everything that I had went through, leading up to. And I was so close, and I knew I'd been at my all-time best, and I was just so disappointed that this had happened right before. But when I walked in the emergency room, and I won't forget this because this really kind of like is where it started to the fact to where maybe this is still a possibility, is when I told my wife, I was like, it's over. Like, I'm done. Like, this is it. Because I thought I was probably, after everything I've been through, man, I didn't know if I could come back mentally from this. But immediately she was just like, it's not over. Like, you don't know what's going on. You don't know for sure. Blah, 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 blah. She stayed positive, stayed pushing me. Like, without her, I would have taken my ass to get some sushi and whatever that night. Like, mentally, I thought I was done. So, but long story short, she kept me on track, and I'm forever grateful. Like, she was making my meals, still feeding me, like eating with one arm, just to make sure, before we threw in the towel and had to throw in the towel. She kept me on track. So that was my mindset initially.
And
And then
week out, you spoke to a doctor, and is
yeah,
that
so actually, as the days went, it kind of got better and better. And I started using the peptides, BPC 157, TB 500. Shout out to Jason Netherland and Lafayette, Louisiana. He has a wellness company. He sent me some peptides, and I immediately started those. He literally shipped them out while I was in the ER.
oh damn.
Yeah, so I really appreciate him. But so when come Tuesday, so it happened Friday evening. Tuesday, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go give this a try. I'm gonna go back to the gym. I'm gonna see what I'm capable of doing, and see, if I can get some contraction of some sort, at least my back, my shoulders, everything but my chest. So I got in the gym and I was doing super lightweight, everything I was doing, and I felt, I was connected. Like, I felt like I could still stretch and still do what I needed to do, just very, very light. And progressively, each and every day, it got better and better and better. So, I was like, look, if I can walk and if I'm halfway decent and I don't lose chest fullness and I don't have a deformity, deformed pec, I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna see this through. I've come too far. If I can bring a half-ass package, at least 80%, I'm still gonna do this.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I did, man. And every single day it got better and better, to the point to where I ended up seeing the doctor, and he was just kind of like, by that time, he was just blown away at the fact that I could still function and still get contraction and still do anything. So he was just like, you know what? Get in the gym today and see what you're capable of doing. Like, do super light presses, push-ups.
You went back to like you hit chest.
So I tried to
It
do
sounds
a
like
machine. I tried to do a machine, but it was a little too wide for me. So I switched it up. If anything, out here, if I press from out here, it hurts. But I kept in close and just try to get some blood flow. That's all I did. Super light. That's all I could do for chest. And one of the biggest struggles I had outside of the chest movements was side laterals.
Yeah.
I think that's because of that tendon right there. It was so irritated. So like on that first Tuesday when I was doing side laterals, it was literally like that was my range of motion.
So
And then each and every day it got better and better.
did it come off like the bone? Like
so he doesn't believe he believes it's the sternal head of the pec, and he believes the clavicular head is all good, and he thinks that's probably why, and it's so strong that's probably why I'm able to function, because that clavicular head is taken over. So he thinks that's just, we're not not to sound like arrogant or anything, but us bodybuilders, we're not normal people
Yeah.
when it comes to strength and everything else. So we're able to function. And he doesn't know if it's off the bone or it's strictly a muscular tear to where he'll have to go back and just reconnect
I'll
the
give you
muscle.
some insight on that. If you have a muscular tear, there's going to be pain. If you had a tendon tear, there's probably not going to be much pain. So from what you're saying, I'm thinking it's at the muscular tendon joint. So where it actually the muscle attaches to the tendon, you probably had a tear there, which that could fuse back together.
So is that
Okay.
surgery? Are you getting
So
surgery?
no, that's better because that can get scar tissue and fuse back together. Now, the problem that you'll have later on is that can actually, like, you could break up scar tissue and you can like re-tear it, just like you would like if you had a torn hamstring or something like that. Like you could re-tear those things, those fibers. But honestly, for a better recovery, like you won't have to have surgery. Now, if that tendon pops off the bone, you're gonna have to drill holes into that bone, loop that tendon back through, and let it heal to that bone again. But with what I'm
Chris
thinking,
is a pro with this. Chris is a
yeah.
pro with this.
So I tore both. So I tore the tendon off the bone, but before I tore the tendon off the bone, it was going down. Like I tore it off the muscle as well. Like I tore the muscle in half. So whenever he went in there, he thought the tendon was off the bone because that's what the MRI was showing was tendon off bone. So he went to go sew that back up. And then whenever he stretched that muscle back over, he saw that the muscle was torn too. And he sewed that back together as well. So from what I'm hearing, because I know my pain, it felt like I got shot in the chest, like whenever it first happened, like the first hour or two. And then the emergency room gave me a Percocet or something. I was like, oh, we're good now. But it sounds almost exactly what you were going through with the muscular tear part.
Yeah. So he kind of broke that all down for me. And he wasn't 100% sure, but he knows, something's not right. There's actually a pretty good size hematoma.
Mm-hmm.
And he believes that is masking a lot of it right now. So it was kind of up in the air if I did qualify for the Olympia, what we would do. But given the fact that I didn't, we're going to go ahead and have the surgery.
Good.
Sure.
Yeah. I was going to recommend, please get the surgery because it was the best decision I ever made. I had the same exact reaction as you. I came home, I cried to my girl. I was like, dude, I'm not going to be able to bodybuild again. I was like, this is because, dude, I could see the deformity after all the swelling and everything went down a couple weeks later. And I think I talked about this on the last podcast, but within 3 weeks, my chest had already started to fuse like in a deformed manner. So that scar tissue started to build up. So whenever he went in there, he had to cut the scar tissue out, stretch it back over. And now, dude, that left pec is stronger than my right pec. It looks better than my healthy pec too. Like it gets bigger, it gets more dense. It's crazy. So honestly, like it was a blessing in disguise for me. Now the right one I get worried about.
Zach, you've been through a lot this past year, man. And most people wouldn't have the fortitude and honestly the mentality to continue to move forward with all of the shit that you've been through, man. And I have a feeling, brother, God is gonna bless you. I'm telling you, he's gonna bless you, bro. Like everything that you have been through over these past, 2 years, man, just wait, man. When I get that message that, you're gonna be a dad and when you're back, recovered from the surgery, you're getting back into prep, man, it's going to be different, so
yeah,
man, keep a strong mind, because it would break most, but to see that it hasn't broken you and see how much you're willing to fight to continue to, reach a dream, bro, that's inspiring. Anybody watching this too, life is always going to give you reasons to stop, always. But bodybuilding is one of those sports, man, where you got to find a reason to do something rather than a reason not to. Now, let's change the pace here a little bit more. Let's lose some followers. All right. So this Tampa Pro lineup is one of the most exciting lineups of the year. We have guys who are consistently in the first call outs. We have guys who are in masters who have consistently made a name for themselves. And of course, we have a top 4 Olympian and a top 10 Olympian doing this show. Now, looking at this list, this is not easy. It's not. I mean, to me, I know who I have winning the show, but I think every placing outside of that, it is up in the air. So, Kentron, Drew, Chris, Zach, I want you guys to think about your top 5 while I run down this list. And I want you guys to, again, lose some followers. So, we have Sean T, Tan Dollywall, a guy who was consistently in the top five. Jason Hazard, Emmanuel Hunter, top four Olympian. Dan Ibrahim, the guy who I believe is in the dead middle between men's physique and classic. We have Barack King, guy just coming off of a second place finish, almost qualifying for the Olympia. Paul Mateuk, not too familiar with him. We have Neil. That is a name.
Can't trust that guy.
Wilson Peralta, another guy who turned pro last year at Universe. Ahmad Salam, this guy is fucking peeled, always peeled. And then Kaiki Santos. This is the guy who I want to see. This is the dude who can get everybody a run for their money.
Wait, can you pull him up? I know that name.
Oh, bro. He placed 10th at the Olympics this year.
Okay.
He's got that men's physique look, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
Perfect structure.
Dude, he looks sick.
Look at that, Kentron. You got this same pose. There you go.
But look at that back, that density there in the lats, man.
Yeah,
that is something right there. And I have him in a certain placing for that reason. So I'll discuss that.
The thing is, bro, a top 10 Olympian. He's coming off of a show in Brazil that was not stacked. It did not have a lot of names, and he got what, maybe 5th place?
Yes, he did. Yep. I think
so, like, yeah, okay. He got 4th place. So, like, again, it's up in the air. And this guy, just turned pro last year, and he ended up winning the show. So I'm telling you, you never know, man. Like, that's the one thing we talked about with men's physique. It's wide open. You can place, top 10 in the world and then go to a normal show and, barely break the first call outs.
Yep.
So, all right. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Chris, you go first.
All right. So I'll start with 5 and I'll go down to my 1.
Wait, Dave Walker's doing the show too?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have Barack is my number 5.
Okay.
I have Deke is number 4.
Shit.
I have Kaike as my 3.
Third?
Yep. I have Dan is number 2, and I'll give you my reasonings. And E-Man is number 1, obviously. This is going to get a lot of hate too, but I think E-Man has the package this year to possibly win the Olympia. So I'm very impressed with him. The reason why I have Dan as second is E-Man's back. E-Man's back is so dense and big that I think it's going to make Dan look pretty normal in this lineup whenever they start standing next to each other. And that's why I also have Kaike in there is a really good back as well. So you're going to have 3 guys that have solid backs in the top 3.
I get where you're coming from, but I also don't get where you're coming from.
Like, you don't need to.
Emmanuel is mass with class, where Dan is more mass. So I think if you're comparing Emmanuel and Dan, I get what you're saying, where muscle-wise they could be generally comparable with roundness. But I think the class is where he's going to separate himself from everybody else. And you can really see that here. It was this update that made me Emmanuel's a whole nother level.
Yeah. That's why he's going to win. But I'm saying Dan is going to be next to him because that muscle is going to look better next to a guy that is he's full blown, bro.
It's not just the size of Dan. Dan still has a lot of misproportioned body parts. That's why I don't have him just fitting in just because he's going to look more normal. I still think like his shape is decent, but there's still a lot of other guys with shape here too.
All right, go.
And not to mention, Dan just lost to Barack and AJ when AJ is probably one of the biggest dudes in men's physique. So I don't think mass will carry Dan. As much as I love his physique, when I just look at it, that's to me not men's physique, right? And I think that's the problem. Now, whether the judges will agree or disagree, that's a whole nother conversation. But from my understanding, Steve is judging, and I think is Tyler also. If Tyler is judging the show, bro, I'm sorry, there's no way Dan's going to be in the top 3. There's no way.
We'll see.
All right, Drew, do you think?
All right, so 5th I have Dan, 4 I have Barack, 3, I have Kaique Santos. 2 is Deke, and 1 is E-Man.
I like it.
E-Man setting the standard, coming in better than he has before. Sometimes he gets off to a rocky start, but he's nailed it for the Olympia. And I think that last year's Olympia solidified him as being 4th consecutively. And I think he has the same recipe down with Mike. So I have him as the clear winner. Deke also is a guy that gets better with time, not the best structure, but I still think with the conditioning, with his hardness, and with his fullness, he's still going to beat out guys that have better shape that may not be as tight or peaked. Kaique, I think he just needs more time just based off of where he was with that Spain show, being 4th in a lineup of guys that I really wasn't familiar with. It shows that, like you said, he has a high ceiling when he's on, but if he's off, he can move back in lineups that he should be winning. So I'm not going to put him any higher than 3rd. I want to play it safe by there, not have him win, but not have him 5th, have him right in that middle just until he could show otherwise, with time and consistency. Barack already beating Dan, but he's another guy with time. He also gets harder, not the best structure. But like I said, with the conditioning and the flow, and he really showed me that he had flow, especially in the lineup at Chicago. Like his flow does look better in lineups to where they're not elite, but with what they're given, he does fit in a little bit more. And then Dan still, he's in the cross between when he's full, it's almost too big. When he's flat, it's almost like, okay, he's not hard enough, because when you're not pumped up, and by flat, I just mean he wasn't pumped up. It's still going to give off a flat looks where things aren't peaking. You could tell here, it's still a little bit washed in the core. Back is absolutely outrageous, but just having a back isn't going to win men's physique championships. Just having a front isn't going to win a lot of things. You only go as far as your weakest muscle group. So yeah, that's where I got him right now.
I like it. Dan made adjustments to his board shorts after we were on the podcast, and I do think this elevates his physique.
Makes a big difference.
I agree.
Dramatically. So
we've only seen him in red. So I mean, red is kind of like an eyesore color in my opinion on stage, especially with how dark he is. You want to have something that pops but not overly distracting, and it did hinder. Now with a black pair of shorts, it almost draws the eye to the physique, and then having like the purple and the blue, it's subtle, but it's not too dramatic to where it does flow and look pretty good. And maybe he was using this to collect data and see how it would be testing the waters. And I have nothing to say but positive things about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Kentron and Zach, don't be afraid of these guys wrecking your top 5, because they love to do it to me every single week. They're just, low guy on the totem pole over here. You suck. Don't let them do it to you. Stick up for yourself.
Hey, I wrecked everybody last week. So
yeah, I honestly, like, I don't follow too many of these guys to even really have that big of an opinion on them, to be honest.
So do you follow men's physique? Like
I do, but I don't follow everybody.
Yeah. It's especially with how many.
It's the hard part when we don't know too many people on the list, and I kind of got to do my research before I throw out these opinions, because I don't want to underestimate somebody. And then
all I really know is E-Man and Dan. That's really it. Sean T. But
all right, so I'm gonna give you guys my top 5. I think mine's close to Drew's with one alteration. So 5th place, I do have Dan. I think with the adjustments to his board shorts, not necessarily the color as much, more as the way that it's sitting on his waist. I think that completely is going to change the game for him. But I don't think the look and the judges who he's going to be in front of is going to allow him to, get much further than that. Then I do have Barack coming in 4th. 3rd, this is the toughest one, 3rd and 2nd, but I do have Deke coming in 3rd, and I have Kaique Santos coming in 2nd. I just think with more time from the Brazil show, he's already proven that he can bring it to instead of a top 10. I do think now that he's had a peak under his belt, he's going to be able to. And then the winner of the show, Emmanuel Hunter, by a fucking landslide, bro. This is the best Emmanuel Hunter that I've ever seen. And Chris, I was looking at you crazy when you said that Emmanuel could win the Olympia, but I also just said on how wide open the fucking men's physique division is. And in a world,
I don't think it's that wide open at the O. Maybe shows like this, but I do not think it's wide open at the O. Maybe in certain slots, but top 3 is absolutely.
Hold on. Think about it. Think about this right now. And Kentron, Zach, I want you to tell me if I'm wrong here. You had, when you look at Ryan Terry's physique, I think he is the most complete physique on stage, least weaknesses. All right. And he still didn't come in 100%. He left the door open last year, and he admitted that. Ali Bilal, Aaron went viral and almost got canceled for sitting there saying and pointing out all of the reasons why he thinks that he can beat Ali. And we all agree that he's not necessarily wrong when you look at each individual muscle group. Ali has a polish that when you just look at his physique from a macro, it's absolutely insane. Like, I don't know what it is. Yes, you can pick apart his arms, his shoulders, his back, but when you still look at his physique from a macro, it's dangerous. But there are weaknesses. So that leaves the door open, right? And then you have third place, Aaron. He's been inconsistent, and he's already proven that, right? But at the same time, if he can continue to trend and get better from where he was at Pittsburgh, again, his ceiling's high.
I'm sorry, but nobody is comparing with 1 and 2. Nobody. Ali and Ryan, it's all over again. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be Ryan winning with Ali second. I think it's going to be closer than last year, even with Ryan being on.
Really?
Yes.
So do you think Emmanuel can jump from 4th place? Do you think it's a better odds for Emmanuel to break into the top 3 or break out of the top 5?
I think Emmanuel will be 3rd place.
Break in. He's definitely going to break in. I just don't think that like conversation to win the Olympia. I guess when you're top 3, it is conversation to win the Olympia. I just still think the discrepancy between E-Man in this lineup, right? You said he's going to win the show by a landslide. When I look at Ryan Terry, I see the same thing. Like he's going to win the Olympia by a landslide. That's just how I look at it. Ryan being off and still smoking everybody last year, people could say it was close. It wasn't. When you look at Ryan Terry, even on stage with Banks having arguably the best back, Ryan Terry had a better back, bro. Your eye goes to Ryan. It's so complete. There's not a flaw with him. And that was off. Yeah. You know, E-Man he has a wall factor, right? But not as much as Ali, Banks, or Ryan Terry. He comes out, it's like, whoa. But once Ryan Terry, Ali come out, it's like, whoa. You know, it's different. And then it kind of dims the light on guys that you're originally first shocked by because it's just leveled up, bro. It's like seeing a Lambo SVJ, holy shit. And then the Bugatti comes out. It's like, oh shit. That's how I look at it. They're still dope, but I just don't think it's in reason to have E-Man in that conversation as far as 1 or 2. I definitely think that he could sneak up on Banks as far as Banks being off, if Banks is off. But I mean, he's another guy that he's motivated. You know, he knows where he wants to be. He just has to keep working towards that. But
so it sounds like the Olympia is going to be the same as last year, and we just might as well not even show up.
Well, it's not about that. I'm still competing in that Olympia. I'm just being realistic with what I think is going to happen. Yeah.
So let me ask you this then, Kentron. Do you agree with these guys?
I agree with what Drew just said for sure. I don't think there's any way Ryan loses at all.
Wow.
So he gets a delayed flight or he gets the flu. Like there's going to be things like that.
Yeah. You know, his physique is just too clean. It's too perfect. It's, you know, you don't look at his physique and think, oh, you know, I don't like this about it. He should change this about it. But when you look at somebody like E-Man, you're like, oh, it's 50-50. A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, but you can't deny that he looks crazy though.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the difference between, you know, placing, you know, 2nd or 3rd and being Mr. Olympia. Like,
exactly.
You know, it does say something about Emmanuel. For at every show he needs to show up for at his best, he does.
At the Olympia, yes, the one that counts.
He shows up every time at his best. When the moments are at his highest, he shows up. So,
and I've told him that too. Even when I've doubted him in person, I don't have him. He ain't going to do it again because Charjo also did the same thing, right? I went up to him in person and straight up told him.
The Arnold.
Yep. And he never made that mistake since then, though.
Yeah.
So he actually took that data and ran with it. But in person, I remember going up to him right after prejudging and saying, "Hey, man, I was wrong." Shook his hand and go, "I was wrong."
I respected that.
You know, and that's what I said. I wanted him to know that. I never said it to be on here and have bragging rights and whatnot. There are things in his physique that maybe I don't like, just like Kentron said, 50-50. But I'll always say when I was wrong or when I am wrong, because I'm wrong a lot of the time. But that's how I learn. And that's why I'm so intricate with the details that I give when I have a prediction. You know, so I try to explain every sort of route.
We're going to change our predictions also as the Olympia gets closer. We're going to start seeing updates. We're going to start seeing weaknesses here and there. And
I'm
Dude,
still not
Arizona-
changing my top two.
Get out of here. We get it. You love them. We get it.
I think Ali
You
was,
can't deny it, though. I mean, it's. I mean, you
know I
could
can't.
try to
I
be
know.
here, but it's like
I just have to give you a hard time.
Yeah, no,
listen,
it's.
I think Ali was closer than people think. I think yes, it was a perfect score.
Oh, I agree.
I think Ali is a lot, and I don't think he has as bad of a back that some people are saying also. I think Ali, if he improves, because again, not doing Pittsburgh, like we haven't seen his physique in a while. I think if he improves, I think he can do, I think he can win the show. I do.
I think he already improved from the Olympia to the Arnold.
Well, to the
Oh yeah,
from his last show, from his I think
Okay.
improved from his last show. I think
That's a hard package to beat.
it is, bro.
Very
It's
hard.
hard to explain because like you look at his physique and you can point out weaknesses, but then you just also look at his physique compared to everybody else. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
It's like
Mhm.
that's
It's
what
him versus him. Like the front is so strong that's why you think the back is lacking. But in comparison with Ryan,
It's
you know,
not.
even though Ryan was off last year, and you could see it. It isn't like he's making excuses. Ryan was off, and he said it. He was struggling with making weight because it was the first year that weight was actually in effect. But you could see how close the back was.
Yeah.
No, Ali might not have the prettiest insertions as far as Ryan's insertions, but it's who you're next to. Ali alone, his back, holy shit, it's amazing. But when you're next to a guy that has a top tier, like genetic and also just the muscle, the way that it flows and everything, like the insertions, it's very hard to compete with that. And that's why people will say, oh, his back is weaker because Brian Terry is exposing what he has.
Yeah.
Or what he doesn't have, I should say.
What do y'all think about Ali's Arnold look versus Ryan Terry's off Olympia package?
I think Ali wins.
I think if Ali,
I
agree. If Ali brings his Arnold and Ryan brings the same look, I think Ryan was flat, and he came on the podcast a couple weeks after
I could see an argument for that too. I could see an argument for that.
It's just
there was as much pop in that midsection that we're so used to.
Bro, it's
crazy.
It's the pop.
He wasn't able to engage it. When you're flat,
Exactly.
you know, like waking up in the morning in prep when you're trying to do your morning check-ins, you don't connect the same way as you would like in the gym with a pump, you know, when blood is flowing and all that. You got to wake your body up after being that fast. And you could tell that he wasn't hinging and connecting as much as we've seen him in the past. And that's the hardest part. When you've seen him do it before, it's like, okay, you know, something's wrong. He still looks amazing to the untrained eye. Other people will be like, okay, he still looks great. But when you have the eye for it and also being there in person and seeing him, he still looked phenomenal. But that engagement, and it could be something as subtle as, you know, just an error for the day. You know, things could change within minutes from cramping, water, you know, pumping up the wrong way. There's a lot of things that could happen. You know, he did come in better at finals, but still it was enough to have people notice. And then he did talk about it too, to confirm what we already thought.
Yep. Zach, top 5, go.
So I actually have the same exact thing you have.
All right.
And I didn't just copy you.
Great minds think alike.
paper.
Now you copied me. It's all right. All right, Kentron, if you don't know the top 5, can you give us the top 3? Get you in trouble very early as a pro.
But Alex, just to clarify, 1 to 5, I got Ime, Santos, Deke, Barack, Dan. Is that what you had?
Exactly what I had.
Okay.
All right, Kentron, what you got?
Ooh, I only know E-Man, Dan, and Deep. So, I mean, of course, E-Man number 1.
Hold on.
I'm not a big fan of Dan's physique, to be honest. I don't know. It's just
You said you are? Or
I'm
aren't?
not really a big fan of his physique.
What is it?
So it's just I don't know. It just seems too big. It seems like it's too big. You know, I feel like E-Man has that perfect balance of size and symmetry, but then I don't know, something about Dan's, it just seems like it's just too much. It goes a little bit over, but he looks crazy. You know. I don't think he's not going to be in top 5, so I definitely say he'll be in top 5. And then
who do you got? Kaiki Santos or Deke?
Yeah, that was the guy you showed. I really like his physique. I mean, that's more men's physique if you ask me. So I say he come in second.
All right. Hell yeah. All right, guys, we've almost been on here for 2 hours. Kentron, you're a real one because
thank you.
I told you 30 minutes, but we haven't done this in a while. We used to end every single episode with fan questions, and I want to run through a few of them. A lot of times these are random. All right, so just bear with us. But speed round. All right, Chris, What is the best fast food French fries?
See, everyone's gonna hate me for this, but I like Checkers, man.
Fuck yeah.
Rough around the edges like Checkers fries.
Oh yeah, that's mine too. Same thing. Same thing. All right, Kentron, what's yours?
McDonald's. I love McDonald's fries.
I like it. It's a safe one, but I like it.
That's just as good, yeah.
All right, Zach.
Oh man,
I'm gonna take some
yeah,
lunch.
give me McDonald's for fries, even though they're terrible for you. No telling what. I don't even know if they're
We
real
don't
fries.
go for us, bro.
It's not even potatoes.
I love it. All right, Drew.
McDonald's, 100%.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Checkers. Checkers
Yeah,
is like
Checkers
that,
is good.
We have one down the street. I just never had it to try
Bro.
it. So.
Oh,
Checkers.
hey,
Checkers fries is like that. It's different. It's different. You can tell. You guys haven't had them,
my
Zach.
grandma used to work there. She would sling them fries for me, baby. Little
right.
7-year-old lady.
Which pros are you the closest with? Ooh.
This is for me,
Yeah. Start with you.
man. I think you're looking at two of them right now.
Yeah.
Yourself and Drew.
What we got right here.
I was gonna say
Ben,
3, yep.
Hold
Yeah.
on. I don't
answer
wanna-
that. I forgot
Yo,
to call him back.
You're on the podcast right now, just so you know. Look at
He's gonna hang up.
Ben, I was on a flight when you called.
Yo, do you know who this is? You know this guy right here?
Oh yeah, Ben, of course.
Ben knows. Ben knows. Oh yeah, I don't know why I'm doing it this way. Hold on. How do I turn this around? Here we go.
USA overall winner.
Yes, sir. You got Zach.
What up, Ben?
Yo, give me. What's up?
I can't even hear him.
You can't hear him?
No.
He
There's
said.
nothing. Yeah.
What-
That's Zach right there. Zach looked really good at Vancouver. Front pose was money. Literally just a tweak to the back pose. Maybe add a little bit more and he lights out. Hey, we're live right now on the podcast. Say what up, it's Alex.
What's up, Mike?
They're live right now.
That's Mike, ain't it?
he about to get in trouble.
What up?
All right. Yo, Mike.
One. I'm going good. So you go down. What's up, man? Shredder.
What's up? What's up?
Back were good, man. It's like you and Drew made the big back improvements this year.
Well, just not quite enough, but it's coming. It's coming.
We gotta we gotta get you guys on the podcast soon.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Hey, before we get out of here, Alex,
Yeah.
I gotta make this clear, because you get it wrong. Jer-
He's getting surgery. We just talked about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, while we on here, I'll be making this little caveat, random appearance. Me and Drew's supposed to be running the show before the Olympia. Make sure you don't tell the other guy that's normally on the show with you. Tell him to pull up, so we can make that happen.
I told you I was gonna do it. Who else is doing it? You talking to me about me or Alex?
Nah, I think he was talking to him and Aaron running the show.
Alex ain't gonna be ready.
Does he know Aaron's not on? Does he know Aaron's not on?
The guy was normally on there, make sure you pull up.
Well, we'll be sure to tell him. Where you at right now? All right. I'm gonna hang up on them.
I told him I was gonna do Daytona. I'm like, you know what? I got nothing to lose, man. I mean, an extra qualification ain't gonna hurt.
I would love to see you, Ben, because I think you expose Ben in certain areas and he exposed.
You know what I told Ben? The only way that evolves my career right now is by beating a name like him. He's the next tier right now, being a top 10. So what is going to suck for him is me beating him.
It's a win-win for you. Like if you come in second, it's nothing changes. Nothing changes. You know what I mean? So in those situations, bro, that's what happened. That's why I said, fuck it. I'm doing New York Pro. That's why I did New York. I was like, worst case scenario, but
and that show is going to be me and him. It's an expectation. When that list comes out, obviously there's no disrespect to anybody else, but not too many people jump in the show beforehand. But right now we would be the names to look at. And like you said, it is a win-win, but having a top 2 at a show like that, hyping it up in advance and kind of seeing how things fall, it's fun. I look forward to that. And like I said, like I come in, I'm already qualified for the Olympia. It's right before then. It's just going in with a clear mind. And, I'm always ready early, playing with a peak and seeing how things fall. The hardest part's the weight cap, but once I got that, I'm good.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, answer the question. What pro would you say you're the closest with?
I'd say you and Zach. You guys are the only ones I talk to on the phone.
That's fair enough.
I don't talk on the phone, bro. My buddy Jordan, he's a close friend of mine as well. We don't talk every day or all the time, but I think we're able to call each other out on bullshit, me and you. It wasn't always like that, but I think the past year, I think we really
gotten close.
Yeah, we definitely have gotten close with that. Well, that aspect at least.
Zach?
Yeah, no, man. Especially recently, Drew already knows this. So I've told him about it already before, but I truly appreciate what he did for me. Being there, just calling me, supporting me, helping me get through this injury and all. It truly brought up my spirits, and it really helped me get through it. And obviously, I truly feel like me and Drew are probably the closest now.
Yeah. I would say so. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, obviously you 2 guys, Alex and Drew, and then 2 guys that are off the podcast. It's definitely going to be Ben and then Miles. Man, those are my people.
I love Miles, bro. He's dope. What about you, Kentron? You got any guys who kind of helped pull you up a little bit?
Oh, not any pros, man. I'm new here. like you said earlier, nobody knows who I am. So
nah, you with us now, bro. You with us now. But I will say this: Chris and I have gotten close over the last couple of months, more than ever, and I value our friendship, especially the conversations that we have in person. You keep my head on straight. Ben and Drew, I would have to say, they're the guys. There's not many people who I call when I struggle, right? Or something's going on. It's Drew and Ben. When something's on my mind, when I need to vent, whether it's about a pain point or so, I'm telling you guys right now, the reason I like this question is because bodybuilding is so niche, and there's a lot of bullshit that goes on in this. So if you can find your core of people that who you fuck with and they actually support you, right, and they're not just trying to use you to help elevate them or vice versa, I'm telling you guys right now, cherish that, hold that close, because
very rare
in itself is niche. And then the personalities that you can truly call a brother is even more niche. So keep that close. All right, this one's funny. Chris, what porn site do you use?
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. This is bad. You ready? This is real bad.
Good.
My own phone from past experiences.
Oh man.
Straight up.
You're crazy. That is crazy.
Sorry, Caitlin.
Oh man.
Bro,
thought about that one too.
Bang bang. That's
Oh, I didn't. I was gonna say it. I wasn't scared.
You knew. Yeah.
Sometimes she dabbles in with me,
It's funny as hell.
Okay.
Yo.
Okay, guys. All right.
Yo. All right, Drew, who you got? Or what you got?
I don't watch porn. Swear to God, I don't watch porn.
Honestly, you know what's bad, bro? I don't type in a website. When I do, or if I do,
you like search your weird ass kink.
Bro.
I'm not even gonna ask what it is, bro.
Bro, when I was young, like when I was trying to find porn, I would type in free porn, and that's all I type in to find porn now. It's like engraved in my fucking. Like, I don't type in like what is it? Is there one with like with X's on it? And
yeah, you know it.
He said, "Nah." He said, "That's the one I use." He knows it.
He's like, "That's saved as a favorite."
Oh, I love that. Zach, what about you?
Man, I'm married.
You don't need to. He said he's been trying.
That's the worst part, bro. Being married and then actually still using it. It's like you're probably not getting it, or and he's trying to make a baby, bro. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Oh fuck! All right, that was funny. What body fat percentage would you consider stage ready?
Generalizing, we know that it's always different per person. We talk about detail all the time. Two people could have the same body fat percentage and look different. I would say on average, most guys randomly at a pro show, I'd say 7%.
You think 7?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's everyone over
a true 7% is a true 7%, bro, is pretty fucking nasty.
Okay, would you trust getting a DEXA scan done to prove that? Like would you say the number on a DEXA scan is legit?
I think they're 5% variance.
Yeah,
it could vary, bro. And when you're that lean, truly, they're not designed to take it that way. So it could be off. Like I know guys that were getting ready for USAs that were registering like 11% when they were cross-striated with their glutes, and also being, an open guy at like 225 on stage, and they're peeled. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute 5'8", 225. So then the BMI registry is off. So then that influences, it plays a role with all this shit. It's like a numerical number they do. Yeah.
Zach?
Drew, what do you think you get down to?
I've done the ones that you could hold the handheld things, and it's been anywhere from like 4 to 7. Drew, my body fat overall, like just my glutes, are extremely straight. I know it's consistent throughout my body. Some guys will be super peeled up top, but then they might not have the legs and whatnot in shape. But honestly, I don't know, man. I really don't know. People ask me all the time. And this is the thing about body fat testers. It's only right if you're lower than you think.
Yeah.
If you think you're 10% and it says 15, nobody's taking a picture and putting that on Instagram. I'll see guys that will take the test and they look like they're 40% body fat and they're saying that they're 7, and then they run with it. And that's where it becomes like delusional, because then they're telling everybody they're 7% because the scanner said so, and then everybody's like, oh yeah, my uncle's 7% when he's fat, and then everybody jumps on that bandwagon. So it just distorts the numbers, because then right when saying 7%, a lot of people think it's high because my buddy has LA Fitness took the scanner and it says he's 2%. So
yeah, no, I agree.
So I did one of those handheld ones. I think it was right after the injury. I want to say I was right at 5%.
Yeah.
So
but that was with like at least 2 or 3 meals on me. So it wasn't fasted.
I think
it plays a role with that as well. Like it'll compute anything that's in your body or digesting or water. You chug a gallon of water, that's 8 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And that could be, taken in, I guess it's like an electro current that goes through your body and goes to like your bone marrow, and there's lipodal body fat, there's visceral body fat. Like if you had like your lipodal body fat, you could get to numbers that are like 3%. But when you add in like the visceral and all of that, like your organs are fat too. There's a lot of different variables that people don't even understand.
Yeah. On average, though, I would say anywhere between, like you said, 5 and 7, where I think the average Olympian or top, guy at a show conditioning wise is probably closer to that 5, 5.5. The reason I say that is because I've gotten my DEXA scans multiple times throughout preps just to kind of see closer to the show, so on and so forth. Miami was the 5.5%. So I did the Olympia later that year, bro. A week out, I was 8% body fat. So I was like, there's no fucking way, right? So and that's when my body was fighting back against me, right? And I made a lot of changes in a short amount of time. But if my physique can ever get back to what that Miami was,
it will. It will.
100% will.
You took the break. It will. Your body is running, bro, right now. It's going to adjust so quickly.
Yeah, that was the most efficient my body's ever been. All right. Before we get out of here, do you guys remember back in the day, and this is such a funny perspective now looking at this, we was one of the first podcasts where a question came up that we talked about, would you ever skip the birth of your child for an Olympia, especially if you were, in that top position to potentially win the Olympia? And with no hesitation, no fucking hesitation, I said that I would. Mm-hmm. You guys remember that shit?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm looking back at that conversation, and you guys were fucking calling me crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it.
Bro.
No.
0.
Gotta be in that position, bro.
But but it raises a funny thought that came to my mind of how fucked up we are when we're in it.
Oh yeah.
Because you were in prep at that time, I think, right?
Yeah.
You're in prep. So it's like that's what matters at that moment.
Yeah, bro. So like
now tables have turned. You're in that mode now. You know, Megan's pregnant, so it's a little bit different. And then you're off and you're thinking more rational.
Yeah, exactly. And and that's why I wanted to bring it up. Not necessarily because how crazy I am back.
Clear the air.
But like, no. It's how crazy that we actually are when we're in the midst of a prep, you know, and we have a singular focus, you know, and I feel like it's scary sometimes, man, when you're all in on something like that, right? And that's why I'm hearing Zach, you know, talk about kind of going through the highs and the lows that he's went through because he went all in on something and you know didn't necessarily get to where he wanted to be. So imagine, you know, when your identity is bodybuilding and you're crazy enough to sit there and say, yes, I would skip the child or the birth of my child for this sport. You know what I mean? It kind of puts things into perspective on how much emotionally we attach to this sport. And I've realized over the last year of taking a step back and looking at things as a macro, the importance of actually looking at things as a singular entity. Doesn't mean you can't go all in on bodybuilding, but doesn't mean necessarily that's who you are. That's what you do. And I wanted to bring that up here because I remember how crazy it fucking was back in the day. That shit. But funny. Fellas, I appreciate having you on. Again, Kentron, brother, you are a great guy. I'm excited to see what you do at USA's. Well, I'm excited to see what you build off of from USA's at Pacific USA's. And now I'm thinking about that. And that could be an oxymoron. You could be doing something there. You could be doing it. But and then
going for the 3-peat.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, bro. You won the overall right before your show too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking crazy, bro. You got no future in this division, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
And Zach, bro, I knew having you on would be valuable, you know, but I didn't realize how much until you actually started to speak and people started to understand, you know, how much you've went through and have to overcome in order to, you know, even just get to the stage, let alone the placing in itself, right? Like the fact that, you know, you're broken and, you know, feeling some type of way about a top 5 finish, you know, it speaks volumes of, you know, one, how much you're committed to this shit, and also how crazy of a physique that you have too, right? And it is truly untapped. And I think you're in a similar position where I am, where it's, you just want to see your physique at its best. And you want to see the improvements. So again, man, like I said, and then I'm going to say it again now, God's got you. I just have a feeling, man, after listening to you speak, I do think something special is going to happen for you sooner than later. And
absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate y'all. Anything else y'all want to say before we wrap up?
I got one thing I want to say.
Yeah.
Because everybody keeps getting it wrong. And even Jeremy Bondia did it in his YouTube video the other day. He threw me out there. But Alex, say my last name.
Savoy?
Say my last name.
Savoy.
Okay. It's Savoy.
Wow.
Savoy. We got to get that right, guys. We got to get that right.
Now that I know it, now that I know how to say it correctly, I won't not say it correctly.
Hey, well, he's from Louisiana. You got to put a French accent on everybody from Louisiana's last name. Yeah. My last name is Ducre.
There you go.
See, I would have said Dupree. Okay.
And everybody says Ducre, and I just, you know, I don't say anything, but it's Ducre for real.
It's a Louisiana thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a down south thing. But fellas,
Chase Savoy kind of messed everything up for me because he actually pronounces it Savoy.
Okay.
So he kind of
that's probably
up,
why.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we know. But seriously, I appreciate y'all for being on. Anything y'all ever need, your new NPR got y'all. All right. Until the next episode.
Thank you.
All right, guys.